feel fucking betrayed. Betrayed by my producer.
Are you ready to do this?
Again? Yeah, let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Round two.
I mean, we're on like, a million years into the fucking first time. I mean,
Take two.
Fuck it.
So a slight editing note. We just recorded about an hour and something of audio and it got crashed. It's okay. We'll muscle through it.
Yeah.
We could do this shit all day.
Yeah, sure we can. Yeah.
I could.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my new mic is apparently, totally fucking awesome.
Didn't listen to the producer. Just went out and did your own thing.
Didn't listen
and now
to the
you've
producer.
caused problems.
And now the producer can't handle fucking, changes to the main plan.
Hopefully you've learned a lesson.
Hopefully I've learned not to trust you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the end of time. I'm
again.
Mike. Welcome to the time for them again.
And I'm Adam.
And I'm Greg.
What? Greg?
It's
what is
Greg.
this?
Oh no!
Oh my God! As promised, we do have a guest on the guest cast today.
Oh man!
Co-worker friend of mine, Greg. How you doing today, Greg?
Greggity Greg.
Doing good. How are you doing?
Shoot, I'm doing great. I'm recording for the podcast. I'm always great. So, Greg's a good friend of mine. He's got some gaming credo behind him. I've talked to him at length at times about games, and yeah, he holds up. He holds up.
Does he? Does he really hold up?
I don't know.
No. You gonna have to put him through the trials.
You want to do the trials?
You're gonna have to do it.
Send me through the gauntlet.
I guess he will be the first gauntlet on the guest cast. Yeah, when we have guests on here, we gotta find out. Because see, now I know you, but Adam doesn't know you, and of course the audience doesn't know you. So we need to know what kind of gamer we're getting with this gaming podcast. So we got some questions we'd like to ask you to see if you fit the bill, see if you're up to snuff. You think you're ready?
Hit me with him.
All right. Question number 1, Greg. Question 1. Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's. Go.
Domino's.
Oh God.
Adam.
Domino's is fucking disgusting.
Adam, take the next question, please.
Oh God. All right. Best soundtrack in a video game.
Best soundtrack in a video game?
Swinging again. Wow.
I don't pull punches, bitch.
Straight for the gut punch. I don't know about
TikTok.
I don't know about best. My favorite?
Yeah, go for it.
Link to the Past.
Ooh. Okay.
All right, you redeem yourself from the Domino's bullshit a little bit. A little bit.
All right, question 2. Do you like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Greg?
I do.
Do you like Wildberry Skittles?
Like what Skittles?
Do you like Skittles?
Yes, I like Skittles.
All right, you got to pick between Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and Skittles. Go.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Okay, not bad.
Okay. You can survive.
Hit him with it, Adam.
Okay. So, if you were trapped in a room for the rest of your life, and you could only bring one game with you, what game would it be?
God, Adam,
man.
just haymakers.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Greg, that there's no holds barred here, buddy.
God.
Right?
One game. And the clock's ticking, huh?
Yeah.
Clock's ticking.
Everybody's eager to know.
I know, they want to fucking know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
My mind wants to fucking know that question.
Damn.
Oh, God.
The only correct answer is a multiplayer game, so you can get untrapped from the room.
Does the room have internet?
No.
Well, then what's the point of a multiplayer game? Oh, man. One game the rest of my fucking life?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be a currently existing game. That's
We understand this is off the cuff, so you have to think about it right now. Depending on the answer, we may or may not hold you to the fire.
Oh, you're gonna hold me to the fire anyway. I feel it coming. Man, one game the rest of my life? Probably. Buckle up.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna take Skyrim with me.
Controversy.
Damn.
That's not too bad, I guess.
Damn.
I never played it, so I don't know. I guess.
I mean, you could mod it out, but you don't have the internet, so
okay,
you'll just be dead.
All right, here's a toughie. You ready? Here we go. Which is the better video game franchise, Metal Gear as a whole or Mega Man?
Oh, you had to say as a whole, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I'm going to stick to my guns and say Metal Gear as a whole.
Oh God. Podcast is over.
Damn.
podcast is over.
Over.
Adam, you better pull a question out and save his ass.
All right, let's see. Cocaine or heroin?
No.
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 This is not the fucking drug cast.
Drug cast.
Okay. His answer's cocaine. Woo. Sometimes he mistakes it for BC powder, so hey.
That's what we used during the cast.
No,
Nothing but good old
stop.
BC powder.
Stop.
I mean, you thought this was like fucking
That's
aspirin?
fine, man. You pass the test. I'm sure throughout conversation in this podcast today, people will get a good idea. You're on your shit with gaming. If they don't know, why don't you give them some history about where you come from in the gaming world, some consoles, games. Tell them what you love, what you knew about, what's your history.
Just going way back right to the very beginning. Had a grandma that was super into video games with her NES and her Super NES.
Oh, wow. At the same damn time.
Same time. That was probably my earliest experiences.
Multiplayer or multitasker.
Yeah. Playing the original Zelda, some Ghouls and Ghosts. Even had the Zapper gun for some duck hunt.
Oh, fuck
I
you.
heard
I
that
didn't have no
goes. I
zapper.
heard that goes.
I had duck hunt, but I didn't have a fucking zapper. You just imagine my life.
But did you have Rob?
Man, no. Oh, God, no.
Yes.
No Rob?
He knows
God.
what these things are, people.
I know what it is, but God, no. Fucking block robot.
Yeah, past that, first console I actually owned was PlayStation 1. First game that I can say I remember beating and felt great about it was the Disney Hercules game.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's-
big achievement.
Okay.
Big old achievement. Again,
One of the all-time hardest games of all time right there.
when you're 7, you bet your ass it is.
Yeah, well, we mentioned that before on our cast too. When you're young, you don't have a job and you don't have money, when you don't get allowance or whatever, you kind of take what you got. It's what your parents got you and what your friends let you borrow or what you rented. I mean, you didn't really have too much choice.
Try beating the Karate Kid.
It's actually a point that Adam brought up too, is that, and this will go into the console war, the gaming war that we'll have down the road. The people that, say when they were a kid, when I was a kid, the damn PlayStation was better, and the other guy's like, well, I think the N64 was better, and me and Adam are on the sideline going, you're just a victim of whichever one your parents let you buy. So
Yup.
you didn't really have a lot of say in it, period. So.
Yeah, you had zero say in it unless your parents were just completely fucking... I mean, even back then, the consoles were pretty damn expensive.
Yeah.
They're equivalent to, a couple... $400-500 nowadays dollars. So you're looking at chunking out a significant amount of money, and the chances that they would do that twice to get you both systems.
Mm-hmm.
Not happening.
I mean, as a kid, again, I took what I got. I had a Super Nintendo because I bought it, but I mean, I liked the Sega Genesis. I liked the Nintendo. I liked everything around me. I wasn't that hard up on mine was better than yours. I wanted it all.
Well, see, the best part about the neighborhood I grew up in was the fact that everybody had something different.
That's
So,
cool.
like, you come to my house, you play the PlayStation. You go next door, he's got the 64. Kid down the street's got the Sega Genesis. So it all worked out, and there was never really a, like, mine's better than yours. It's like, well, let's play Sonic, or let's play fucking Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Get a
Take
little
what
taste of it
everybody
all.
has. Yep.
Yup.
So yeah, he's in our age group. He's come up with the history that we've come up with, and he can speak at length about certain games and titles. So he's good company, folks. You should enjoy him.
You should definitely enjoy him.
Yeah, enjoy him.
Sweet fucking beard.
Enjoy him. Oh yeah, again, no video, but yeah, he's got a sweet stash and beard going on.
It looks like he's got some
Hair's pretty
stash in
nice
there.
too. So in comparison to me and you, yeah, he's got us beat all the way around. Greg, tell us what you did this past week in gaming and life, movies, music, whatever. Just tell us how your past week or so has been.
This past week's been pretty good. Still working on the self-mutilation that is Dark Souls from the very first Virgin go-around.
We have another one, folks. Woo! Just when you
right.
thought the Dark Souls podcast was over, fuck you.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it forever.
How you liking it?
I fucking hate it so much. I love it.
Damn it.
That's a statement
that
though.
is-
I hate it so much I love it. Not I hate it, period.
It's just this feeling I've never felt before when you pick up a controller and it's just like, God damn it, here we go.
You started having to like wipe your hands on the fucking seat next to you, like, oh god, you're like rubbing your pants, trying to get the sweat off.
I've heard you say a fairly good quote is that you would put this up in your top 10 of all time.
I definitely would.
You want to flesh that out a little bit more? Tell the audience why you think it's in the top 10, why you love it so much?
There's something about this game, and I think you've touched on it before about like an artificial difficulty type thing. It's just hard to be hard, but really when it comes down to it, like you just gotta get good. Never knew what get good meant until I picked up this game the first time.
This game will do that to you.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, I hear people playing. I'm like, okay, let me go through see what it's about. No, like, all right, I'm 5 minutes in. Let's die. Let's do it again.
Yep.
And let's just fucking die some more.
That's the thing about it, is it like slowly builds you up. It's like, okay, work on this skill. And then, a couple minutes later, it's like, okay, you've kind of mastered that. Now use that skill in conjunction with this.
Mm-hmm.
And it just keeps building and building and building and building until you finally have, a repertoire of stuff you're throwing at you.
You still get butt fucked.
And you still get butt fucked.
You still get it right
But
up.
it's always your fucking fault. Or it's usually your fault. Sometimes you're just walking down a corridor and a dragon decides to swoop down and kill you for no reason.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know that you were supposed to be sprinting the entire fucking time.
There is a moderate amount of trial and error in this game, but it's not equated to something like the live and die games that are on the PC, the Steam type of games, that you have to die. Like, oh, I stepped forward. Oh, there was a pit there. I didn't know the pit was going to be there. Haha, joke's on me. All right, now I'm going to live. I'm going to jump over the pit. Oh, no, a fucking thing swiped me in the head. I guess I better duck next time. Haha, joke's on me. This game has a couple things like that. There's actually Sin's Fortress is kind of designed around that, but that's not the predominant aspect of the game. The game is, here's the mechanics, here's what we put in front of you. You have ample time, ample ability. Figure this shit out.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that you just chip away and get a little bit further each time. Like, if you don't figure out how to play this game, you're not going to fucking beat this game.
The fucking first enemies will just rape you.
Yeah.
They're just going to grab you, take away everything that you love and come to your house and rape your grandma.
I did my best to sell this game to Greg, but I think I did a fairly good job of not spoiling it because, again, this game has this wonderful aspect of the first playthrough, like most games. But your second time through Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Bloodborne, you already know most of the tricks of the trade. You know what's coming down a hallway. You know what enemy's weak to what. You know the tactics to beat this boss.
Yeah.
You still got to take it seriously, though. You still you can't back down in your game. You gotta get good, and you have to stay good.
Let me ask you this question: what kind of character did you make? Did you make like a melee fighter? Did you make a mage? What did you make?
I went with a melee fighter. I think like a thief or whatever they call it in that.
Mm-hmm.
I think a bandit was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a real good one to start
thief,
with.
something like that.
Yeah.
What I've found is that if you go through your virgin run as a melee fighter, you come out a lot better than the people who came in as a mage or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll develop the dodging and countering skills required for high level gameplay.
Yeah.
If you go in and you're like, oh well, let me just run away from this dude and cast fireball, it's a lot less challenging. And then when you get put in shit's position, you're like, I don't have the skills to cope.
See, when I play games like that, I very rarely go with like a mage or like a range type character because it just kind of takes the fun. Like, let me just back up and just shoot arrows or fireballs or lightning bolts or flowers or whatever the fuck I've got to throw.
No matter what the game series, it could be Skyrim, it could be Dragon Age Inquisition, any kind of game where you can have the sword and shield fighter. I always start with sword and shield.
Yeah, me too.
And then I will progress to two-handed weapon, and then I progress to mage.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'll do my thief run.
And this game is good.
My ranged fighter.
This game is good for that. It's the multiple classes. It's worth a replay through on new game to just try out different classes because, as he said, a mage fighter is great, but it's a stark comparison to you starting with a sword and shield. It's there's different tactics, different mindset.
Well, see, and the thing, sort of on the same point is like just having that sword and shield and just seeing these gigantic demonic motherfuckers drop down and just know that I got to get right up in your nuts and not
Yep.
die.
You gotta go in there, headstrong. At some point, you're gonna have to get within arm's reach of this son of a bitch.
Like I can strafe around you for an hour, but that ain't gonna do shit. Like time to get in there.
So you've already got that initial fog gate fear going on now, where you see a fog gate and you're like,
Yeah, I just had my
Daddy,
best
no.
one. Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, that motherfucking Capra demon and his two little bitch dogs.
Oh, he fought the Capra demon. Spoilers! Oh
Spoiler.
no, there's a Capra demon in the
Capra
game.
Somewhere in the game.
Somewhere in the game.
So tell us about your fight with the Capra demon. What did you get involved in?
Man, so the first few fog gates, you know there's a boss back there, but you walk across a room, you get a few steps in and like, okay, where's he gonna jump out of? So I'm like, got my shield up ready for that and hit that fog gate and there's just big ass goat motherfucker and his two big ass dogs right in your face.
That is my favorite part about these Souls games is like anytime you're just like in an unknown area and you just instinctively put your shield up and walk forward like, oh my god, what the fuck is about to jump? I know something is about to come, but I don't know what it is or where it's coming from. Let me just guard and walk forward.
Yep.
And any other game, you're just like, oh, let me sprint forward to the next screen. Nope. No, fuck that.
I've noticed that about myself too. Is as a gamer in like an action game or platform game, I seem to always have the run button engaged, and I'm always moving forward. I'm always
Yeah, you only go.
Yeah, you only do that for about 5-10 minutes in Dark Souls, and the game says you need to fucking chill out, buddy.
It's like
you need to put your shield up and have your sword at the ready, and you need to walk forward. You're coming to a corner, you need to slowly go around that
You need
corner.
to pie that shit.
You need to listen. You need to watch. You need to look at the floor. You need to look around you. Like you got to take it. If you take your time, it helps. Because you're more prepared as opposed to just, I'm gonna walk in here. Oh, there's three look at them fucking ghoul looking
You might
dudes
be
with
dead
tattered
before you realize what happened.
Yeah.
You might not even get a chance to learn from what the fuck you just went up
Here's a
against.
comparison. You go through Castlevania 1, you go right through the level, you see these fucking ghoulish characters with these tattered robes, and you're like, oh, okay, and you slash your whip, one hit, the motherfuckers are dead. So flash forward 20-some years later, you play Dark Souls, you're like, oh, look at these ghouly guys with their fucking tattered robes. I bet you I could, there's 3 of them. Oh boy, 3 tattered little ghouls, and they have 2 knives and a sword, and they fucking rape you.
Yep.
And you're like, alright, well, I guess I'm just fucked in this game, and yes, you are.
You definitely are.
Repeatedly.
I also used to be one of those, like, let's go down every hallway before I progress any further in the game. Mm-hmm. Don't fucking do that.
Nope.
Like, oh, it's early in the game. Like, I should be able to, like, I'll see, like, I've kind of got it figured out. Let's handle it. No.
Yep.
Like, oh, first Black Knight. Like, oh, his back's to me. I got him. No, the fuck
No,
I
you
don't.
Yep, that was me. That was one of my first experiences in Dark Souls was when you come to the Firelink Shrine, your starting area, and you're faced with pretty much a left or a right. And I tried to fucking brute force my way. I took left. I just fucking flipped a mental coin and I took left. And there was a skeleton, and then another skeleton, and another one, and another one. I was like, I think I can handle this. I'm a badass in gaming pretty much. I've conquered a lot of games. I can handle this. And the game was like, no, dead, no. Dead. No. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't go this way. And then I went the right path and I was like, oh, one enemy at a time. Okay. I need to watch what the fuck I'm doing, and I need to pick paths based on, am I getting fucked or am I not getting fucked?
Yep. I remember when I was trying to sell you on this game because I remember explaining this game to you and you were like, just tell me, humor me, tell me about this game. Mm-hmm. You know, in your typical Mike Wills, I don't really give a fuck about this, whatever you're saying, fashion.
Sure, that's me.
And you go, oh, you just go ahead and tell me about this little game you're playing. I was like, well, you know, it's really fucking hard. I mean, you want a game that's really effing challenging and puts your like gamer skills to the fucking test. Mm-hmm. You should play this game.
And I said, sure, sounds good.
He's like, yeah, okay. I'm man. I didn't play fucking Mario 3. I know what I'm doing. And I was like, dude, you ain't played this game. And he was like, nah, man, you gotta be shitting me. And I was like, it's just gonna be some bullshit. I'm like, nah, this is going to, like, you're going to blister your fucking fingers trying to get fucking movements memorized for this game because you're gonna be like dodge / parry, you know, riposte. I gotta do everything I can to survive. There are certain ways to beat enemies there, and the tactics change when there are groups, you know. You you start like logically looking at encounters like, how am I going to get in here? You know, like I remember, you know, like I said before, I think in a different podcast, there's a, you know, you come to one part in Demon Souls where there's a thin corridor you're walking down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't have the presence of mind to change to a weapon that stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
I used a slashing weapon.
Somebody came at you.
Somebody came. The motherfucker walked down the fucking hallway. It's a big ass skeleton. Walked down the hallway with a tower shield and a spear over the top of it. And I was like, what? And he was like, rah, as he just like thrust towards me. And I was like, slash, and I was clang against the first wall, clang against the second wall, and it slowed you down. Like, it kind of staggered you a little bit. And I was like, oh no, daddy. As he stabbed me like 3 or 4 times before I could recover.
Dead.
Yep. And then I was like, okay, well, let me pick, you know, my shitty fucking, I think I had like a rapier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was my only weapon with a consistent stab. And I was like, okay, well, let me try that. And he's like, tower shield, tower shield, tower shield. And I was like, oh, you fucking bastard.
Yep.
So then I developed a strategy to get past him using that weapon, but it always, you know, I could never get it quite so perfect as to not take any hits.
Yeah.
So,
but you still developed. You adapted.
I adapted. Not perfectly, but I did adapt enough to where I had, I could minimize the amount of damage I would take going through that area.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, I, you know, perfected it. But, you know, it was stuff like that really sold me on the game, because it was like, man, it's making me think in 3-4 dimensions sometimes. Like, okay, after I do this, I'm going to do this. And then, you know, when this guy finally pulls, I'm going to come over here and do this, and hopefully I'll have enough to go around here. You know, you're trying to manage your stamina / choose the correct weapon and choose the right attack and way to attack.
Yep.
You know, when, where, how to attack. Those were things I hadn't been presented with before.
Yeah. Yeah, Greg readdressed the old meme shit of get good, man. It's not just a joke. They tell you that for a reason. You have to get good. You have to damn near love every enemy. You have to know them in and out. You have to know your weapons. You have to know your ability, what you can and can't do all the way around. And you have to keep that consistent, because, oh man, it gets bad.
Oh yeah. So far there's not a single enemy that is just like, yeah, I fucking got you. Like, even when you circle back to your very starting point, and you just think you can just bum rush through it, guess what? Someone's gonna fucking stab you in the kidney and you're down again.
Yeah, spoiler alert, that's exactly what New Game Plus is gonna be like.
And there goes all your fucking souls.
You walk it, because my thing,
just walk in and go, ha, I'm Big Dick now.
Yeah.
No, sir.
That's how Big Dick me went through. I was like, oh, I'm starting back in Firelink Shrine. Fuck you, I'm just going to the left path. Come at me, skeletons. And they came at me, and I was like, oh God, why did I ask for this? Oh God, I was dead. So you gotta keep it. So you like the game as
I fucking love the game.
Fucking great.
Good job.
Great. Anything else for your week? That's pretty much it for now.
Yeah, I was playing a little bit of Rocket League here and there. The competitive season's ending, and
oh yeah, remember you telling me you were watching that?
Been watching a little Twitch and playing a little bit myself, and pretty trash at that game too.
As long as you have fun, man, that's all that matters.
It's great.
It's like Demon Souls 2.
Adam, anything for you, or you just puked all week?
I played Pukeathon all week. It was great. Super Pukio brothers. Like, it wasn't even just me. It was like my whole fam. First, I was taking care of the pukey people, and then I became one. Okay? So it was like, first I'm just cleaning up all the puke. Mm-hmm. Then I'm producing the puke and still having to clean up my own puke.
Oh, God.
So oh, God, it was really terrible.
Did it smell bad?
Oh, yes.
Did it make you hungry?
Sometimes.
Well,
I was just fucking delicious. I had a big, like, I was convinced that I wasn't going to get sick because I had been taking care of everybody for like 2-3 days. Mm-hmm. This happened like Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. And so I'm taking care of everybody, and I didn't actually get sick till Saturday night. Mm-hmm. So me being the fucking retard that I am, I decided to eat a big meal on Friday because, I'm goddamn invincible. Okay, so I went to Chili's and got a full rack of baby back ribs.
Big old man plate.
Oh, man. I got the baby back ribs with like a salad and some loaded mashed potatoes, and it was so good. I have mouth watering just thinking about it.
Eat like a fucking king.
Oh, man. And then Saturday night, I got to have it all over again.
Oh, wow.
Oh man! For whatever reason, it just decided it didn't want to digest, and it was like, "Hey, here I am."
Somewhere in the depths of your stomach was like, we're going to hold off on the
gonna-
digestion
we're gonna-
process for now.
Correct.
There's some shit going on down below.
Yeah.
We don't want to mix the streams
We're just
here.
gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait this out, play it by ear. And then they were like, "No, just send that back up.
So-
We're not gonna be able to handle this."
So let me ask, did you play Andromeda yet?
Fuck you. We're recording this on the night Andromeda came out, and apparently some douchebag, not gonna say who, Mike, he I got a little cough in my throat. Mike, fucking bastard. He decided that he was going to put the podcast on, the night it came out. So it's downloaded, and the play button is sitting there blinking, ready for me to go on Origin.
This was all a great plan by me. It wasn't the fact that Greg and I have odd schedules and everything, and this was culmination of awesome times.
Adam, you looked at him, and y'all came in cahoots. Y'all like, what's the best time for us to do this where we would also fuck Adam? So there were like 2 or 3 times on the table. You X those off because they wouldn't fuck me, and made sure it was this date.
Yep, you got it. You got us around the money.
Yep. But I have actually been hearing news about Andromeda.
Yeah,
And,
hear how shit it is.
It's people. The reviews go from like, there are people that are, I guess, where you kind of were, where they were like, "Oh, I fucking hate Mass Effect now," because they did. I mean, okay, BioWare is one of the premier AAA RPG producers.
I agree with that. Yeah,
and they, they've made a bunch of good games. They've made a couple of stinkers, and I didn't like Dragon Age 2. I don't think it killed Dragon Age for me. I think Inquisition was a giant fucking apology, because it was a lot better than Dragon Age 2 was.
kind of like Mass Effect 3 was supposed to be for Mass Effect 2.
Well, some people, I mean, I would consider it an apology that they listened to what was being said and tried to correct it.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they're taking the feedback and responding to it. I mean, that's more than a lot of people will give you.
I heard in that documentary you had me watch. I watched the whole thing, by the way, of the trilogy. I wish I could give a shout out to him, but I forget the name. But he mentioned that for Mass Effect 2 in particular, they had a spreadsheet. Like, they made this gigantic fucking spreadsheet of feedback from players. And it was like, we just pulled up this big ass fucking spreadsheet and we started developing Mass Effect 2. We went to work.
Spreadsheet. That's the best kind of spreadsheet.
So yeah, good on them for listening. I hope they listen to a lot of things when Andromeda is concerned. But
well, apparently they have, and we went over this last time about, they've been making adjustments and, adjustments to the adjustments from Mass Effect 3 to Mass Effect Andromeda. But it's apparently getting shit on for the animation. Now, color me old school, but coming from the Atari days where, the red square blasted a red block at the blue square and there were 2 tanks fighting, I could give 2 giant fucks about graphics.
yeah,
As long as they're, somewhat passable. Okay, Metal Gear, the motherfuckers didn't even move their mouths.
yeah.
Come on now.
Metal Gear Solid. Okay, I'm being fucking serious. I mean, they didn't.
Yeah,
They didn't have
They were
mouths.
polygons that did it. They
Fucking,
shook
it was
their
a
head around.
it was a square
But you didn't care
with
because the game was
the
good.
skin wrapped
It
around
was
it.
so great.
So I mean, you can. I don't see how having bad facial animation is going to kill the game for me. It might jar me and break the what do you want to call
Immersion.
it? Immersion. Yeah,
A little bit.
it might break the immersion a little bit until I just look past it.
Yeah.
But it's not going to destroy the game for me.
Speaking of graphics,
Graphics.
Speaking of
with the
graphics not having a hold over a game, if you're fine, I want to roll into my week because I got a lot of shit to talk about.
boy.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Now I know what you about to talk about. I've been waiting.
So
Been
I sent a
waiting?
text. I sent a text to Adam a few days ago without any context whatsoever. He knew what the fuck was up. I sent him a text and it was like, "Man, I'm broke. I'm going to do it."
You got to remember last week when we were doing the podcast in the breaks.
Yeah.
We talked about this. It's like, you know, I'm gonna hold off on getting the game. I can't. I'm just not ready to get it right now. I'm like, you don't get that fucking game.
Well, I fucking broke because I've got Breath of the Wild, baby. Yes.
He was like, I ain't gonna do it.
No, I broke.
I love my wife too much.
I did the same thing with my wife.
Her
I was
trust
like, you
that.
I was like,
And
you gotta know how fucking much control it's taking for me not to go just buy the console in this game
And I'm
because
like, you gonna do it? You gonna do it?
And I was like,
You should have seen his face when he walked in. Just tried to sneak past me with his head down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
oh hey,
I believe
hey, Greg. I'm like, you fucking did it, didn't you?
I did. I went out and purchased a Wii U, and I have Breath of the Wild. Now I know what that's gonna. That's where I want to segue into the graphics thing. Is that I have the past generation's console playing the brand spanking new game, and I can tell you right now, it doesn't fucking matter to me because oh shit, this game is fucking fun. This game is good. I want to preface this though because I've spent the last few days deciding how I wanted to talk about this game on this podcast. And I want to say something as a preface before I say the possible bad thing I'm going to say. This game is fucking huge. Okay? If anybody has seen gameplay, have by chance seen the map, have seen somebody take the map and like scale up and scale up and scale up, this game is big. I don't know a good comparison to like, you know, something like Just Cause or World of Warcraft or whatever.
Just Cause 2 or
but the map, you get the sense when you're walking around that this, you can look at a point and you can see it way the fuck off in the distance. You can get to that point and it's a ways.
That is cool.
This game is large and it's bingo. It's filled with shit to do. So you take, 100 steps forward going to a quest, you're going to find 4, 5, 6 other things to do. It is littered with that, and that's great. But even with this game being as big as it is, I watched an hour and a half gameplay footage. I've seen about 2 or 3 different reviews, and in the gameplay footage and the reviews, they were all spoiler free, yes. But it was mostly people either playing the game and I could watch what they were doing and that kind of spoiled what they were doing. And they also were telling stories. Oh, here's this really cool thing that I did in this town with this guy, this thing. So what I want to tell everybody is nothing about this game. I'm saying that as a kind of an apology for me and Adam for all the spoiler shit that we've done in the past. I could sit here for a good hour and tell you different things that I've done, these really cool moments and really cool experiences, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to spoil anything. Even if I spent that hour, I would still only spoil maybe 100th of the things that you can do. But my play experience is this is an adventure. This is an explorer's game. They're going to plot
something you want to see for yourself.
Yes, you want to go.
If it's an action and has nothing to do with the story per se.
Yes,
you want them to, tumble off that cliff for themselves.
Yeah, I want you. All I've heard is countless little mini stories of, I went to this little campfire and I saw this thing with this situation and this is how I handled it. But when you hear, 50 of those, you kind of have these moments kind of spoiled. Even with those few, even with me talking for an hour, I would only tell you 100th of what's done in this game. But this game is an explorer's game at heart, and it is best left to you having this game in your hands and just go. You just go fucking explore the world on your own at your own leisure. You will find all these little things. I can say that I can agree with what I've seen and what I've heard. There is a lot of shit to do in this game. A lot of little bitty things that just fill your heart with joy. That's about what I want to tell you. I recommend this game is about the only thing that I want to tell you and the audience. Is that from somebody that had to spend hours and days debating between which game was better, Ocarina of Time or Link to the Past, for somebody that loves the Zelda franchise so much that one of their games is on my top 15. I love Zelda, and I love this game. It is highly recommended. Also, I went out of my way. I really shouldn't have, but I bought a fucking console just for this game. If you remember,
still think it's worth it.
Yes. It
You
was
think it's
worth
worth
it.
it with the additional price of the console. It's
Yes.
still worth it.
This
Yes.
game is worth $300.
This game is worth, okay, if you go right now and go, if it's available and you buy a Switch and you buy the game, and let's say you go above and beyond and you buy, I guess there's like a charging port and maybe a pro controller. Let's say you spend upwards of let's say around the neighborhood of $400 to just play this game. Is it worth it? Fucking yes.
What about 5?
Well, you'd have to buy a whole lot of other shit, but let's say
the price was
let's say at the
$100.
base level, you just wanted to buy the base Switch and the game. The game's like $65, $70, and the Switch is $300. You're looking at about $380, $300 after tax. Is it worth it? Fuck yes.
Damn.
Yes, it is. I of course have other games. There's a handful of games I will buy for the Wii U down the road. So I'm happy that I'm going to have future games to play. So my purchase is justified, but just the game justified the purchase for me. I'm saying that on record. Yes, it is.
It's a big claim.
Yes,
It is.
Now, another question that somebody posed is, okay, well, where do you put it in the Zelda as far as the games? What do you like? I actually don't know, and the reason why is because right now I'm still baby new to the game. I'm like maybe 100th through this game. I've put about 15 hours into it. I've done a lot of little side quests. I've done about 3 or 4 main story quests. I'm progressing in it. I've explored the world. I've almost had the whole entire map leveled out, which I pretty much strictly did that. And that's saying a lot. If it takes you 15 hours of fucking cartography, a map, you know what I mean?
Wow.
But all that time was worth it. All that time was filled with fun. But I want
At least you weren't fucking like sailing a boat.
Yes. I'm running. I mean, I already have 2 horses at my disposal. I still run around on foot just because I like exploring. I like just running around.
You know what I want? You know what what would ultimately sell me on this game, where I would play it like hands down. Like even beyond like your recommendation of this game, I would go buy the game that day. The fucking Pegasus boots are in the game.
Oh yeah. You know what? This is what I'll tell you.
Somebody's gonna find them, and I'm gonna fucking buy the game next day.
One thing that I keep hearing from these different reviewers and the different gameplay footage is like, man, there's shit out there that I haven't seen. There's shit that I've just saw at a distance and I haven't been able to touch. I know no lore about it. I don't know anything about it. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to say I don't know if the Pegasus boots are in the game or not, because this game is so fucking huge. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
But back to my question is, where do you place this game in the Zelda likes and dislikes? I'll tell you right now, at this initial onset, it's up there with Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past.
Really?
Yes.
It's way up there.
This game is it's bringing out if you remember the last episode that I talked about this, I had a fever for this game because I felt like I was seeing stuff that brought that magic out in me when I played Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time.
You know, there's something kind of related to that I've heard of in the news here lately. Do you remember the Metacritic scores and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, Ocarina of Time is like one of the highest ones. It's got like a 98 or 97.
Yeah,
or some
it's
shit.
way up there.
Okay. This game came goddamn close to it.
Oh, yeah?
And here's the interesting bit of news. There was this guy, I can't remember his name, but so he made a review for this game, and he said that overall he enjoyed the game. He gave it a 7 out of 10.
Hold up now.
Garbage game.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Garbage
That
game.
means it's utterly trash.
That means-
Literally unplayable.
I mean, 7 out of 10 is literally unplayable.
Wow.
You know, and at that point, you're just like, okay, well, I mean, you know, that's a fair, at a 5 out of 10, going off an honest scale, a 5 out of 10 is a mediocre game.
Yeah.
Okay. A 6 out of 10 is an okay game. 7 out of 10 is a good game.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a good game. It's good game territory.
Yeah.
8 out of 10, great. 9, phenomenal.
Yeah,
10's
10's
immaculate. Masterpiece.
You
All-time
go
great.
your life without playing this.
You should not see a lot of 10 out of 10 scores.
10 out of 10 are the games
10
that
10 out of-
paved the way for everything
10,
else.
10 out of
Exactly.
10 means you didn't just pay for this review. You sucked the fucking reviewer's dick. Either with your game or with a giant amount of money.
Yeah.
Okay? But that's why we have things like aggregate fucking scores like Metacritic. Okay? Apparently, this guy rating that game 7 out of 10 dropped it from equal to 1 point less than Ocarina of Time. So the Zelda community decided to DDoS the sumbitch's website.
What?
I was like, wow.
Come on.
Wow.
Okay, let me just say
what a
then.
giant group of assholes.
Let me just say, I love this game, but I'm not.
I'm pretty sure that you were
That's
one of those people.
That's some bullshit.
I'm pretty sure that it was you.
No.
You were
No,
a
it was not
lone
me.
wolf doing it. I'm
I
saying it
recommend
right here.
games to people and recommend things to people based off of my experiences, but that's not going to say that they're going to have the same. That's not going to say that they're going to love it. So take it or leave it.
Yeah.
What I will say on my end is that I went out of my way to purchase a console solely to get this game. Yes, there's a couple other games I'm going to get down the road, but the main reason why I left this house and went to that store was to get Breath of the Wild, and I had to buy a console to play it on. I have the console now, I have the game, and I love it.
You know, if you wanted to, you could have rented it, and I'd let you borrow my console.
I could have, but this, again, it goes back to just the fever that I had for this game. I had to just do it on my own, and I did. And now at the end,
Now it ended up being a good thing.
yes,
because you liked it.
there could have been negative feedback.
Everything was well, but I mean, at the same time, in this day and age, it's not like doing it 10 years ago.
No.
Like where you barely had YouTube and stuff like, wow, damn, 2007 you had YouTube. Holy shit! I'm old, dude. I'm old.
You're old.
Okay, so it's not like back in the 90s when you didn't have the internet to go and look at and be like, well, I have to take a gamble with this game.
Mm-hmm.
I have to look at what the magazines are saying about this game. I have to, scrimp and save and just base what I'm seeing off the ads and shit.
Yeah. And hope for the best.
You could kind of preview this game a little bit. If you didn't want it spoiled, you could still kind of, just glance at stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the sound off and watch gameplay footage.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
and see what it was about. So you made an informed decision one way or the other.
Yeah.
Well, see, to me, that sort of gives Breath of the Wild a little bit more merit. Because, like you said, like today, like you can pretty much know everything about the game before
Yeah,
you
it's
buy
not
it.
going to be fucking trash.
Right. Like there are games like that have come out in the past few years that I haven't touched just because like I read something about them. Like I'm just gonna skip it.
You know, a
but-
game I wish I'd seen some fucking YouTube videos about or something.
What was that?
Fucking Chrono Cross.
Oh boy.
Oh Lord.
If I had fucking seen some fucking goddamn gameplay videos of that, I would have saved myself
Adam.
a fucking childhood
Adam.
of scars.
It's funny you say that, Adam.
What?
I have something I'm going to play here. One of my coworkers, awesome dude, had listened to the podcast and checked something out. He said, I went to work one day and he was like, man, I got a disparaging comment about your podcast. I'm like, man, I'm sorry about episode
man.
0. And he was like, no. I just disagree with something that your buddy Adam agrees with. And I'm like, all right.
Well,
and
then
he's
just
fucking
wrong right off the bat.
I'm just about to. I'm gonna play this for you right now, Adam.
There are two kinds of people.
Hold
people
on.
who agree with me and people who are wrong.
Well, this guy disagrees with you.
Well, then he's
And
wrong.
I'm gonna play this for you, and hopefully it'll pick up on the microphone, and you'll be able to hear it too.
Oh,
but I
God.
want you to hear this. So here we go. Here we go.
I want you to say this again, Johnny. I want it on record. You want it on record? Yeah. I love Chrono Trigger. Yes. Chrono Cross is a lot fucking better.
What?
Shit. Are you telling me right now on actual official record, Chrono Cross is a better game than Chrono Trigger? It's longer and better, yes.
It's longer and better.
Longer and better.
I bet he likes things that are longer and better.
So
he does.
Adam, you're wrong. There are people out there in the world who prefer
There are
Chrono
people in
Cross
this world
over
who
Chrono
deserve
Trigger.
to die. Yes.
Whoa!
There are
Don't wish
people-
death
there
on
are-
our viewers.
Now, I'm
Listeners.
I would. Oh my fucking god!
So yes, the game is you're just being a whiny butt. The game is actually pretty good.
you want to get into this right now?
I talked to
You
him.
want to get into this bullshit right fucking now?
I talked to him off to the side. I said,
is this what we're trying to do with our podcast?
no, I just wanted to let you
Okay,
know.
apparently it is. Apparently this is what the fuck you wanted, was to piss me the fuck off on our podcast so you could listen to me fucking whine about this
No,
fucking
I
shit.
just wanted to show you somebody
I have
else.
to fucking go through this goddamn PTSD bullshit every fucking time we have to all right.
Buckle up, boys and girls.
Fucking Chrono Trigger, all right?
Yes.
You took Akira Toriyama's fucking art, okay? You combined it with one of the best fucking story writers at Square in the fucking prime.
Okay.
You took epic fucking game design, completely new shit, okay? You had fucking a brand new intuitive fucking battle system that combined fucking attacks, that used all kinds of. You didn't fucking teleport off the fucking screen into a new map. You just fought them right there on the fucking spot. Okay. You took a massively easy to understand, completely comprehensible fucking story. All right, and then you add to that New Game Plus and about 12 different fucking endings.
Music was good.
Yeah, well, oddly enough, that is the one gripe I don't have about Chrono Cross, because they used, guess what, the same motherfucking composer.
The game is not that bad.
Oh, it's fucking terrible, dude. The game is fucking terrible.
I pulled this guy to the side. I said,
There are people out there.
I did this.
There are fucking people out there that think, oh, well, this game, it couldn't possibly be that bad. And look, on its own, without any kind
You're
of
getting
fucking
very animated.
without any kind of fucking Chrono Trigger references, this game was a 6.
So you're saying a standalone game
A
by itself.
standalone game with no ties to Chrono Trigger. That piece of shit was a 6. The battle system. Let me get fucking started on this. Let me take some fucking piece of.
Take a breather there, Greg. It's going to be a minute.
Ooh, I mean, you. All right, so you take what was a fucking amazing and intuitive thing. Let's improve on that. Nah, let's just fucking scrap all that bullshit, because, you know, let's not even fucking think about the original battle system that this series had. No, let's come up with some new shit and make it worse than any Final Fantasy has ever tried to shit out, with the inclusion of the Japanese too. Okay, where you had to fucking level everything. Okay, Jesus fucking goddamn
down.
Christ. Oh my
Calm
fucking
down.
God, man.
Calm down.
Jesus. So
I
nah.
I did this to myself.
You did this to
I
yourself.
did it.
You allowed this person to live, and you didn't just immediately fucking kill them. All right, so you take a convoluted fucking shit backwards fucking blasphemous story, okay, that has to be deciphered, isn't given to you. You add in ridiculous goddamn accents to the stupid motherfucking NPCs.
He did say that Lynx is a better character than Chrono.
Yeah, Lynx is a better character than absolutely no character ever. Okay?
Quote.
Oh, god damn it, motherfucker.
I'm sorry. I just wanted
Alright,
to show
so-
you. He's going more.
You take this piece of shit fucking game, okay, and you
bastardize it. You
A
have
lot
to,
of people think that, okay, well, if you didn't like Chrono Cross, obviously you didn't understand it, because, and then they pull their little glasses up and they adjust them on their nose like that, and then they go, well, obviously it was just too complex of a story for you, and they put out their little fucking pinky finger like they're fucking some kind of. This is baby's first JRPG, and it's a shit box. Okay, it had decent music. That was about it.
Heard. You
Okay.
want to play this game? You get some decent music.
Yeah,
in.
and that is it. Okay, it had literally fucking maybe 1% connection to the original game.
And that's reaching. That's reaching.
I know the story. Don't try to fucking write in and be like, bro, you just don't understand.
Please write in. Please write in.
You don't understand.
He doesn't
No,
understand.
You don't fucking. Oh my fucking god.
This is not going to be another Chrono Cross cast.
No.
I didn't go. That wasn't my goal. My goal was to show you that there's at least somebody else out there that said,
is
yeah,
fucking,
Chrono Trigger was good.
I understand that fucking mentally retarded people exist.
I don't know.
I understand that there are high functioning autistics in this world. Okay? It is not something I am unfucking familiar with.
We love all of you. We were just saying that.
Uh-huh.
We genuinely love you all.
By we, you mean you and Greg.
I love all
Fuck
of
you, dude. Fuck you and your opinion.
So that's the other little cherry of my week right there. I got to
That game was
experience.
fucking trash.
I pulled them
You're
off.
gonna make me mad all fucking night for this horse shit.
Save that energy for the topic.
fuck you.
Save it for the topic.
Oh my god.
I asked him off to the side. I said, I want to know, are you generally trolling us, or you? He's like, no, man. Chrono Trigger was good. I'll agree, yes, but Chrono Cross was just so much better.
Chrono
on
Cross
all
was
this.
so much better in the way it was worse in every fucking category. In the way that, like, literally none of the shit was good. That was the best.
I just want you to know that I did find
some
somebody.
dumb shit motherfucker. I mean, the fact that they went back and retconned the original game twice to make up for this bastardized shit.
I can't stop
story.
him, Greg. I can't stop him. I'm sorry.
Oh my
a
fucking
moving
god!
freight
It was
train.
like they couldn't retcon it the first time and make it make sense. So they retconned it again for the DS. Like, okay, we'll just spell it out for you. You know, you have to change the original game to make your shit make sense. That should be a giant effing red flag that you done fucked up the sequel pretty bad, Ross.
And it was. Yep. I have to agree
Stick
with
your face in
Adam.
the fryer.
I have to agree with Adam on several fronts. Chrono Cross, whether it's talking about Chrono Trigger or or whether you're talking about it as a standalone game, not good. Pass it. Be rid of it.
I mean, my fucking god, dude.
I just wanted to play the video.
42 characters.
I just wanted to play the
They
video.
were like, let's combine like every shit JRPG we can. You know, let's just not pick a direction
Adam,
to go in here.
think of Mass Effect Andromeda. Calm down. Be in a happy place. You could be home playing that game.
I could be, and that's
But
not
you had to
helping
sit
my
here
blood
and
pressure right
you
now.
had to hear somebody tell you that, well, you're whatever, Chrono Cross is better.
It was longer and better. It had one ending, and it was a shitbox ending that you needed a guide to figure out. But it's
So anyway, Greg, that's about the tail of my week right there. I've been
Sounds like a pretty good week.
yes, I've been blessed with a Wii U, woohoo, and I have Breath of the Wild. I thoroughly recommend it.
and you got to meet some complete retard.
Breath of the Wild is worth a playthrough. I strongly recommend anybody that doesn't have the console, go buy the fucking console if you can. If you have the console and you don't have the game, listen to the podcast, finish it out, or listen to it on the way to wherever, and go buy a fucking console and play this game because it is worth it. It is filled with adventure. It's filled with
You know what it's not filled with? Garbage like Chrono Cross.
This is not the Chrono Cross casket.
There is no correct segue to get him off.
No,
of Chrono
I can't.
Cross.
I'm trying. But yeah, that was my week. I'm playing it.
This is my life.
If you want, I
My
do.
life was ruined
if
by
you
that game's terribleness.
if you do generally have any questions for me about Breath of the Wild, you just want to know some things, maybe get some more feedback, recommendations, or whatever, send us an email, let us know, leave us a comment or whatever. I'll gladly tell you about it. Try to keep things spoiler, please. I know that's bad.
Keep things spoilery.
Spoiler free. I know that's bad of us asking you, but we're trying to tailor that back. So respect other people too. Try to keep it spoiler free. Just go play the damn game, people. You need to play it. You owe it to yourself to play it. And hey, if you're a gamer, you deserve to play it. If you like Zelda, you deserve to play this game. This is right up your alley.
That's what I thought about Chrono Cross.
I will say this
I was
too.
like, man, I really love the first game.
I will say this too. I do feel kind of bad because I did just like bow out of nowhere and go get Breath of the Wild, and now Demon Souls is like, hey, come on, bro, really, bro. I will keep playing Demon Souls. I probably won't have as many updates in the future episodes, but I will keep playing it. I never put a game down completely, especially one that I like. I do like Demon Souls. I'm having fun with it, but right now, I'm sorry. I get off work, I come home and fire up this game. I leave whatever. I come home, I fire up this game.
You got one on the primary burner now.
Yeah, that is my primary burner right now. And if man, what a life I lead now that I am playing arguably one of the greater games of the Zelda franchise, and my downtime is fucking Demon Souls. What have I done to myself?
Well, not to mention that you have a possible out there at Andromeda in case you ever decide,
But just thinking of like
you
admittedly,
want to try something new.
there is a small difficulty curve in this new one just because of the adventuring, but you get your ass kicked and you're like, oh, I'm going to go take a break from this game. I'm just dying too much. And then you go pick up Demon Souls and they're like, really?
I'm just dying a
You
lot.
want to come to us? There's no fucking sanctuary here,
Well,
bitch.
If anything, the two might synergize and you might become like beast mode on Zelda.
Yeah.
You know,
You
might be like, "Fuck you, parry, riposte,
Yeah.
dodge roll."
Again, I do want to say things. There's so much that I do want to say. Maybe I'll have some solo spoiler-ish podcast of myself, put out some little side thing and just gush about this game. But again, what I really want to do, I would like at a minimum for at least Adam to play through this game a good deal before I, have a review and big, just blow my load about this fucking game. And also, as far as making a final review or a score or whatever, I need to beat this game and feel like I've completed it, and then just distance myself from the game for a while because I want to make sure this isn't just new game feel.
Before that can actually happen, though, I'm gonna have to. Oh man, I'm gonna have to put some time aside, dude.
Yes, you are.
Because I mean, right now my RPG meter is pegged.
Yes.
Okay, look, I am not done with The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
I am about to start Andromeda, despite not being done with The Witcher 3.
Yep.
And God knows I've got a backlog of RPGs that I need to play.
Yeah.
So
good luck.
if you want me to rush out and, snag Zelda and nail that down,
yes,
I can.
Yes.
But it's going to come secondary to me beating Andromeda.
I know.
And, at the same time, I don't know how much. I mean, right now, I had to stop raiding. I told you that earlier.
Yeah.
I had to stop raiding because I couldn't commit to the schedule of it.
Right.
But it's even for something as big as scope as you talk about, that's like Witcher 3 level fucking huge or bigger.
Yeah.
Then, The Witcher 3, man, I told you, I've been eating The Witcher 3 in small bites just because I don't have, I can't give it its due.
Greg, do you have a Wii U?
I don't have a Wii U.
Or a Switch?
Or a Switch.
Are you working on any important game right now?
Just Dark Souls.
Okay, well, see, you two are both in kind of the same boat because you're working on something that's going to be time consuming.
Oh, yeah.
While I highly, highly recommend this game, if you out there are not hardcore playing a game right now, if you're just bouncing between games, you're just kind of working through, pick this shit up because it'll be worth it. You'll put everything else to the side. But if you're working on something like Andromeda or another whatever game and you're fiendishly going through it, finish your game. Savor this shit because it will get
that's
you.
what I want to do.
Just,
make sure
just stay away from stuff. That's what I recommend. Stay away from reviews and people telling you
that I've got it, because just like The Witcher 3, when I play it, I want to be immersed by it, and I don't want to be fucking distracted. I don't want my kids running up in there and be like, "Daddy, what the hell's that monster doing there?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you cut his arm off?"
Yeah.
No, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing. It sounds bad, but I don't want my kids running up in the middle of playing Zelda and me having to pause it and go make a sandwich or whatever. So I have to kind of coordinate that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially with my wife.
Yeah.
Trying to get that kind of stuff done. So it's just it's one of those things where I have to have time, and even when I do have time, it's not all at once. So
right.
I might get 8 hours in one week, and I might get 12 hours in the next. I might only get one the next week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be sporadic. And
now, here's another thing. Once, let's say that I'm completely fucking batshit crazy, like everybody else is playing Breath of the Wild, and I'm completely wrong in my opinion, and you play this game and you get 7, 8, 10 hours into it, and you're like, this game's fucking boring, I'm done with it, I don't care. This does not mean that my opinion is wrong. It just means that you didn't care for the game.
No, it means your opinion is wrong if you don't agree with me. We just went over this bullshit.
Don't get him started again.
I'm not. I'm trying not to. My point being is that
Triggered.
I have seen some people, I've seen some reviews and heard some things where people have went out of their way to be like, I heard Jeff Gersman from Giant Bomb be like, yeah, I just don't see the shit you guys saw. Like, you guys had all these wonderful experiences, and I didn't see that. I'm not having that. This is just a big open world, and enemies are easy, and I just go around and whack shit, and I don't get immersed. And everybody around him is like, well, you're fucking crazy, because there's shit to do, and just go get lost in the game, and it's just a roller coaster up and down of shit to do. That's how I'm taking the game.
See, and that's the thing, like he was talking about, like, when you got, kids running around, things like that, like, unless you have like dedicated time to that, it's kind of hard to like focus in. Like you gotta have, because I have the same thing.
You start like looking out of the corner of your eye. What the fuck are you doing over there?
Right? Yeah, like it's too
Yeah,
quiet.
you stay away from the outlet. Stay away from the outlets.
This game doesn't necessarily require you. It's not Dark Souls. You don't have to be as poised and focused, but you're gonna want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna just that old school shit where you just got lost in the game for hours on end and just explored and have fun. That's Breath of the Wild.
And that's kind of the way it is with The Witcher. You know, you're messing around and you're like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get the ingredients for this potion or whatever, and you go out of your way and you start picking up like armor pieces or trying to build a set, and then you put the game down and you know you lose that kind of train of thought. What the fuck was I doing 2 seconds ago?
Yeah.
It was important for me to be here, but I don't remember why now.
Yeah.
And it's hard to recover.
Well, see, and then I get in the mindset of like, well, I've probably got a good 15, 20 minutes. Like, let me just go ahead and rush through the rest of this to just get to whatever spot I'm trying to get to.
Yeah,
and then you end up missing a lot of shit that you don't want to, but you just kind of get stuck in like I'm on a time limit type thing.
You don't want to play the game like your dad, like you are dad, even if you are. You know, you want to be in that gamer zone and like fully immersed.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you have to become like a master planner.
Yeah. So that's that. You know what, guys? Let's get on topic here. Let's talk about what we came here to talk about today.
Oh shit!
Let's talk about some tits.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
buttering
tits. So we do have a topic today. The topic is about maturity in gaming, but I want Adam to qualify this topic because I want him to explain to you folks what we're about to talk about.
Okay. So basically the idea is, how has gaming matured from its inception to the current day, and where do you, as a media, we started out with G-rated games, and they were kind of looked at as as kind of a kid's toy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of, now you've gotten to the point where they're not afraid to show, breasts and sexual acts in video games and stuff.
Violence, excessive violence.
The excessive violence has been around for a while.
Yeah.
We are starting to move forward as a media, into the same place where other media have been. You had, first you had books, and then you had, dirty smut fucking novels, and then you had, silent films, and they transitioned into action films.
This is the porn episode, is what you're getting at.
Finally got to porn.
This is the porn episode.
It's not necessarily a porn episode. It's
I know,
just
I'm joking.
How close are we to being, or are we already at the point where a video game can come out and be as well accepted as an R-rated film?
Well, here's the problem. This is actually a good topic. Now that I got a better grasp, I'm gonna start mine with a rant.
Uh-oh.
I've been doing this shit for close to 30 years, and I have two other people here to give different views on this. So I really want to know what y'all think. I have this general temperature gauge for gaming in the real world. Not all over the world. I'm not worldly traveled and worldly experienced. I know a little bit about Korea's, lifestyle over there, and of course we all know that a lot of good hardcore games came from Japan, and that's where a lot of the trends started up. But
yeah,
I still feel in this year of 2017 that, now if we're talking about the population of the world as a whole, I still feel that games are not up to that TV movie level. That people still generally feel like games are just beeps and bloops and that just shit for kids, and every time
motherfuckers holding the controller backwards on sitcoms.
If we gotta talk about games, we gotta plug Mario or Sonic, and that's all that has ever existed, and let's just move on and talk about something else because video games are whatever. And I will say that on top of there being a stupid fucking bullshit retarded show where the predominant thing is there's a bunch of nerds that hang around in a house and it's whatever. I'll say that there are video game movies out there. I will say that there's commercials and there are tournaments, and the push for gaming to be bigger than what it is out there. I just feel that the world as a whole does not accept it at the level that we do. And it's sad to me because, as we said on a previous podcast, there is so much shit involved in games there are deep storylines. There is mature content. There's heartbreak. There's happiness. There's sorrow. There's action, adventure. There's all this stuff. And aside from a movie where you just watch somebody's point of view, you play their point of view. And it just still, as a whole, it doesn't feel like it's caught on. I don't know why, and I don't know what needs to be done for it to catch on. I think I think Nintendo did a pretty good job of trying. You know, their big push when they marketed the Wii as opposed to the Wii U is that we want to have
people playing games.
They wanted to go back to what Nintendo Entertainment System was set out to begin with. They wanted to put a console in everybody's household. You got a TV, you need to have a Wii because everybody in your family can play these games. We have games tailored for everybody, and I was like, fucking great.
Yeah, but they were just little deformed avatars playing tennis.
Right, but your grandma likes the little avatar playing tennis. Your grandma doesn't like fucking Skyrim
But
because
that's Milton Bradley.
I think part of the problem you said was that the fact that instead of sitting and just watching and absorbing, like you get to play these people, and I feel like the majority of people like just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like some people just can't, like just want to be passive.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, and I've heard it from a lot of people, like it's sort of like a chore to them. Mm-hmm. Like if I want a story, I'll just sit and read a book, or I'll just sit and watch a TV show.
Right.
And like I don't know where you can get people into that other than just making a game that's 90% cutscenes, which exists.
Yeah.
Well,
there's that, and there's making, like he said, there's making little games that aren't, 90 hours long. They're about, 20, 30 minutes, and they're baby basic, easy to play. That's one of the things, again, that I think the Wii was trying to do.
Right.
It was trying to give very, very small, low-level games, but something that everybody could enjoy. And they're like, well, I don't fucking own a Nintendo. And you're like, it's okay. Hey, you just plug the console in and look. Well, that controller looks kind of...
I just really disagree because I think that when you say, okay, well, Granny, sit down and play this little tennis game with me, it's not the same as, say, like, hey, Granny, watch me play this Telltale game. Mm-hmm. And it's, a mature content game like Walking Dead or something like that.
Yeah.
And spoilers, you're seeing people, you get to make small decisions and figure out little puzzles and see the results of your actions. Like, okay, well, who am I going to feed today? This kid,
Mm-hmm.
or this dude that's working on the fence, or the guy that's watching the guard, that's pulling guard, or what, so they're kind of missing the boat on, a game. I think, who was it? Roger Ebert, the late Roger Ebert said that games were, there was no difference between a video game and a board game.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And I'm kind of paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to tread on the dead man's
he
word,
essentially said that, you win or you lose.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, it's never going to be like a movie because a movie only has one outcome. A book only has one outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, okay.
There are a lot of games that have one outcome. You just have to get to it.
Well, no, you can die.
Yeah, or you can die.
Or you get two outcomes by default. You either win or you lose.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that he was really taking it. He's like, well, you can have all these beautiful stories and all this shit in these games, but it's not the same as, and you're going to have this older generation that never looks at it as anything other than the Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And thankfully they're dying and we are replacing them.
Yeah.
But
still, I mean, taking newer generations. I mean, the younger people around us, they kind of play games here and there.
They're the younger generation.
I'm talking about the whole entire population.
I'm talking about your mom and dad, my mom and dad, your grandma,
the 40 people in this neighborhood.
Grandma, the people that aren't going to be listening to this podcast. They go, okay, I got a Wii, so I can do the bowling thing every now and then when I get bored. But that's not, that is the potato chips of, it would be like reading a, 3-second fucking panel in the funny papers, that, oh wow, Garfield doesn't like Mondays, LOL, and then you fucking move on. As compared to War and Peace, or, any kind of graphic novel. I mean, comic books weren't taken seriously for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but are they today?
They're far more taken. They're taken a lot more seriously than they were. I don't know that they have completely come around because I don't see evidence of a whole lot of extreme situations being put in comic books. Like, full on fucking nudity and sex and graphic violence, shit like that. You see it every now and then, but not in the mainstream. Mm-hmm. Okay, you won't open up Captain America and see, fucking, his girlfriend's fucking knockers when, even if it's appropriate to show them or it would make sense in the context to show them, it's kind of alluded to off screen or, and you could still compare that to, different rated movies of today. Mm-hmm. And you could say that is that, but you don't really see that in the mainstream of it. Yeah. It's kind of pushed off to the side. And maybe I'm not saying that it should be gratuitous. I'm not saying that kind of stuff should ever be gratuitous, but it's jarring when it's not there when it's supposed to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you see like Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones is kind of a mix between the gratuitous and the ungratuitous nudity. You have scenes where like, okay, well, they just want you to see what it's like to be in a brothel. Yeah. Well, of course you're going to see stuff in a brothel. Mm-hmm. Okay, you should see stuff in a brothel. If you're not seeing stuff in a brothel in the fucking 1400s era, fucking medieval era, then it's the suspension of disbelief goes away.
Right.
If you do see it, then you'll take note of it, but at the same time, you're like, oh, well, okay, that's the way they were back then. That makes sense for this era. Mm-hmm. Or, if somebody is like taking a bath in a lake and they get out and the scene just happens to cut in such a way that you can't see it, you're like, okay, well, I understand why they did it, but, at the same time, maybe that original angle was better for what you're seeing.
Let me ask you this. Whenever you do watch a TV show or a movie and there's nudity involved, do you care?
Like I said, only when it's conspicuously absent, if that makes sense.
What about you, Greg?
I don't really care either way most of the time. I mean, sort of like you said, like if you're walking through a strip club and like just fully clothed women, like, yeah, you're going to notice that, but it doesn't really take me out of it.
It's not so much of a bother. It's just like it immediately pulls me out of whatever I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, well, say you were watching Deadpool. And you're watching Deadpool and he chases the people up into the strip club and, he's going to shoot out with the bad guy. He's chasing him through the strip club. Well, now I'm not thinking about, okay, well, he's chasing this bad guy through a strip club. I'm thinking, why is everyone conspicuously clothed in this strip club? And it's just, it's not like, okay, I want to see the titties. I'm just that much of a horn dog. No, it makes me stop and immediately go, this isn't correct.
Now, see, the point I'm getting at is when you have a TV show or a movie and there's nudity, specifically, we can take it to downgrade when it's supposed to be nudity. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really mean a lot to the general populace. They have a ratings system set up, so hopefully the people that shouldn't be watching it or the kids that shouldn't be watching it aren't watching it. Yeah. But it's there to serve a purpose.
Correct.
I feel that today that when you see that shit in a video game, they're like, oh shit.
It's the kiss of death.
They're just flopping titties around.
It's a kiss. They're
showing sex. And it's like, wait a minute. So one of the forms of media that have been around decades before this one has been doing that forever, and they give you reasons why that's there. But when gaming does it, it's taboo.
Yes. Well, see, in comparing like video games to like television or movie, like if you think about time frame, video games haven't really been around as long as like movies have. Like TV shows, Leave It to Beaver caught shit when both parents were sleeping in the same bed, or like,
Yeah.
it was a big fucking deal when they showed a toilet on TV. That was in the 50s or the 60s when we weren't there. You think about
Times have changed.
20, 30 years into television, like they were kind of putting
what
up
it-
with the same shit.
What it is their old people died.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
Fuck them old people, and that's where we're at. Fuck the old people.
and I think that video games have advanced faster because of, like the as far as technology goes as a society, we sort of did a fucking skyrocket. Mm-hmm. We got
Meanwhile,
moving pictures,
TVs
we've got sound, we've got computers. Like now pretty much anything you fucking absorb media on is a computer. Like it's capable of playing a game or playing a video or, sound in its most basic form. And I think it's just going to take time to catch up.
It sucks that it's still taking all this time because we all have hobbies.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that it's a Greek tragedy that the guy that likes to go out in his garage for 4 or 5 hours and tune up his Mercedes is that he's a far cry different than me that spends 4 or 5 hours in front of a game. I don't want him to stop his hobby to pick up mine because I feel mine's better. There are people that will come home from work and will just drown themselves in 3, 4, 5 hours of TV.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, you've got, okay, I get it. I totally get it. You're watching a show. You're watching a story. You have plot. You have climax. You have drama. You
You
have
just
action.
turn your brain off and absorb the story.
Now imagine if you turn that fucking TV off and I put a controller in your hand and you can do the fucking thing. You can play that. You still get the experience. The only difference is you got to play it. Well, it's challenging. Turn the fucking difficulty down. Some games now have it where it's like, it's not just easy, normal, hard. It's easy, normal, hard, story. I think Mass Effect 3 did that, didn't it?
Yeah.
It had a gameplay setting where you could say, what challenge you want. You
Nah.
you could say,
You could just say,
say,
none.
I just want to
didn't want any.
experience the game as a whole.
Yeah.
And I think that's just giving little tertiary help to people. I'm saying as a whole, people see video games and they wash it aside. It's just, it's amazing how big this fucking industry as a whole is. It's amazing how far it's come.
No, you get
and
to where
you try to put it to people and they're like, we don't take that serious.
Yeah.
We'll take movies kind of serious. We'll take
Yeah.
TVs and music kind of serious. Video games,
It's like, I
It's
mean,
like, why?
you have this group of people out there that will never look at games the same, any differently than they do a Monopoly board.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the problem with it, is that, you have people that look at it as this is something you are doing competitively with yourself or with, another person to, get points on. They fucking think points still exist in video games.
Mm-hmm.
And, trying to beat their high scores and going bloop, blah, blah, bloop, bloop. They think of, what video games were in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry to say it's been 30 years,
Yeah.
that we've come a long way. Long way from Leave It to the Beaver. We are at, Game of Thrones now, and
I mean, you're at Walking Dead now. You can play The Walking Dead, and you can get a totally different storyline, and it's filled with so much good stuff.
but in time frame wise, we wouldn't be at Game of Thrones now. Yeah, 30 years after Leave It to Beaver. What was that? The 50s?
Yeah, so
we're in like
Magnum PI right now.
We're in the Magnum PIs right now.
Yep.
Like we're just now saying shit damn.
Yep,
Not
so-
even shit.
We're moving along a little faster than TV did, at least.
I think
You can give it that.
gaming has moved faster and will move faster because of things like social media and the internet. And when it comes to like niche cultures like video games or comic books or some other random obscure hobby, before the internet and social media was a thing, like you were just kind of like alone in your house. If you didn't have any other kids on your street that were into the same shit
You're
you
a
were,
fucking nerd.
like then you were the fucking outcast. But now you can just go hop on Facebook
remember.
or hop on a forum and you've got thousands of people that are into the exact same whatever
Hey,
specific shit you are.
I mean, even if it's fucking something obscure.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
whatever the
Yeah,
fuck it
there
is.
are people that unite around fucking the fucking TV show my fucking little girls watch. That fucking My Little Pony show, and they go out and fucking grown men dress like fucking ponies, and that's why I can't take my kid to the movies. But
You know, like if as far as like flying kites, there's a billion people on the internet that are just as into flying kites.
man, you
as
could watch
are.
a fucking YouTube tutorial on how to build a badass motherfucking kite right now. I guarantee it.
So I don't look at it in a
like spraying
disparaging
liquid
way.
nitrogen and
Like
shit.
I'm not worried that gaming is going to die in any way.
Yeah.
I just feel like we might be the ones, like, you know, like as far as like famous artists don't become famous until they're already dead. Like people don't appreciate the shit until you're already gone. Like we might not see the day where like video gaming is just right up there with TV, movies, whatever, but it'll happen.
Well, I mean, you remember when they formed the ESRB, don't y'all?
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat
Mortal Kombat. And
went all the
that
way
was
to fucking Congress.
That was a big fucking deal back then.
Yeah.
It was Doom, fucking murder simulators, and
But that was still even like 96.
Yeah.
oh no, it was much later than that. This was fucking Columbine and goddamn.
Oh, yeah.
So this is like the 2000s. I remember in like 06, somebody did something and they blamed it on Grand Theft Auto. You know, San Andreas was getting. Oh, it was the hot coffee mod came out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
You
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a mod. It was some shit embedded in the game's code by the developers. But I guess they said, okay, this is too far. We got to scrap the idea because they'd get like an AO rating from the ERSB, and that basically means it can't be put in Walmart.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother thing now, because now you're no longer. Video games are going digital.
Yeah, you're not bound to brick and mortar anymore.
Yeah, so
not by
I mean,
sight.
who gives a fuck what Walmart puts on their shelves? Because, you know, Steam or someone else will sell it for you. You set up your own damn website, and if your game's good enough, then you could A, kickstart it with no fucking AAA backing whatsoever, and get AAA money for it, or B, you know, put it on Steam. You know, greenlight it. You know, and just set it up on your website and sell it from there. You know, it's come a long way, and not just the fidelity and ability to make a game more than just bleeps and bloops, but the actual distribution of the games has changed too.
Well, see, you would think that games being more available and made tailored for different audiences and different likes and interests and all that, you would think that would make it as a whole bigger and broader in the mind of the world, and it seems like it don't.
You know, I read.
I think my gripe, I think a good way to surmise my gripe is that, and don't misunderstand this, because I realize this is a fucking video game podcast and we play video games for fucking fun, and that's exactly what they're designed to do. I don't compete. I'm not a designer. I don't make money off it. It is literally a hobby. I dump money into this and get reward of fun back.
Yeah.
Okay, but my gripe is that I feel the world as a whole doesn't take gaming seriously, and it's hard for the world to take the gaming seriously when even, you know, setting aside competitions, setting aside Madden tournaments and Evo and stuff like that, there's not really a lot of goal to it. There's not money involved.
I think,
but there is, just not enough.
Well, one second. It goes back to that original thing. You have, I read somewhere like 155 million Americans play video games for at least, 30 minutes a week. You have this entirely segregated populace of gamers. You have people that play phone games.
yeah, that was the point I was getting at.
Yeah,
Like,
you have people that'll okay, well, let me play fucking, some
Candy
fucking
Crush.
Bejeweled or some shit on my phone for a couple of minutes a day or a couple of hours a week, and that is the extent of my gaming knowledge. Those people being counted as the same people who fucking play The Witcher 3 is probably not a very good way to have your metric. This aggregate, I mean, the definition of gamer has kind of changed.
Oh yeah.
From someone who plays games at all, which is what it used to be, and now it's more of a people who take games seriously.
Yeah.
And it's not. I don't know if everyone is okay with that, the way that got changed. That if you look at the way games are being represented in the media, you also have an entirely new thing happening inside of gaming, which
Like?
is social issues are kind of starting to creep in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You're
Yeah.
having all these social battlegrounds begin to occur. People are starting to say, okay, well, you have people like Anita Sarkeesian talking about females in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, I mean, you know, agree with her, disagree with her, whatever, but the fact that she's fighting this fucking fight at all means that the media is being taken more seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. But now think of what you're saying, though. That's somebody fighting something that has a negative backlash somewhere. Why can't the we're taking it serious be? Witcher 3 came out and oh shit, there's groundbreaking shit in this game and the story is vast and the world is huge and the story is deep.
Well, I think you get kind of a mixed bag of it. You, like when Grand Theft Auto comes out, any Grand Theft Auto comes out, they talk about how it's more accurate than it's ever been before.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the bullets entering their brains and watch the light go out of their fucking eyes as you run them over on the streets maliciously.
Mm-hmm.
How horrible is this for our children? So you kind of get a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It's look at how much more fucking real this is, and oh my God, you get extra points for killing hookers.
Mm-hmm.
Extra points. You get fucking points in goddamn game. That's never going to go away until those people die.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying they got to die.
So you think it's the past generations that are fucking us over?
Yeah.
I
think they're also the people. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go.
They're also the people that are playing fucking Bejeweled, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And fucking playing Candy Crush and being counted amongst the fucking, you know, collective of gamers. You can go ahead.
I also think it somewhat seems a lot worse than it is because, like I said earlier, like everybody can see everything. Like everybody's got a soapbox now.
Mm-hmm.
Like used to, the only way you could get a message out was at like 10 o'clock at night on Fox or ABC or whatever, and that's the only way you got your news. But now anybody with a cell phone, which is fucking everybody that has an opinion and thinks their opinion matters, puts it right on out there. No, let me share this. And then it's just fucking spinning like wildfire.
Well, another issue is that I think the accessibility is also an issue where this goes to an argument you made before is like, if they're going towards cell phones, maybe if all of our gaming was just on cell phones, maybe be a little bit better. I agree with that, but I also disagree because the gaming population as a whole knows what Bejeweled is. Yes, they know what Clash of Clans is. Yes,
But not everybody knows what Witcher is.
yeah, but I'm saying I'm strictly tailoring this to the cell phone market. There are other games out there besides Flappy Bird. And I mean, there are not, it's as deep as the games on the phone will let it be. But if the cell phone technology had advanced to where you could play Xbox One games straight on your handheld in your phone, you know, in your hands, maybe that would make it better.
Maybe it would.
I don't know if that would do anything to make
But I mean, the people who play Bejeweled aren't looking for Xbox One games.
they're
not going to play them, not because they don't have the ability to.
Adam, let me blow your mind. The people that are playing Bejeweled weren't looking for Bejeweled. Somehow, some way, they had that brought to their attention. They were
Well,
like,
that's because
whatever, I'll check it out. And then they got fucking nose deep into that game.
that's because they're sheep and they fucking saw an ad somewhere and they clicked it, and you know, they come from the age of, oops, I clicked something on my phone. I don't know how it got on there. I don't know how to change the time on my VCR because I'm fucking retarded.
We have people out
Okay.
there that will go to the movies and see the 6th, 5th, 7th, whatever, Fast and Furious.
Yep.
Those same people will
Like Chrono Cross.
not play fucking Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Those people will not give two shits or a fuck about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Nope.
They maybe care about Madden because their uncle has Madden and their friends like to buddy
They
up
like
and
to
play
play the
Madden before the
foosball.
Super Bowl. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is we have household staples of entertainment set in place and have been set in place for a long time.
And gaming
those
is becoming one of them.
for the most part, they haven't really evolved. I mean, there's 3D and there's
The old
the
media is
panoramic
dying
views,
somewhat.
yeah. But I mean, the gaming world has evolved over and over and over again. We keep pushing this to people, saying, "Man, this stuff is great. This stuff is awesome," and they're like, "No, we don't care. We'll just sit back and watch TV."
Think about this. People that make video games are people that play video games. Like, gamers make games. Mm-hmm. You know, people in suits make movies. You know, the reason movies and TV hit everybody is because their sole purpose is to make something, not that I like, is to make something that everybody's going to like and rake in the cash.
Right.
And I don't think gaming as a whole is a cash grab like that.
Yeah,
You know,
well.
so when you've already got a small community of people making something
gaming makes a shit ton of money.
yeah, I mean, but
Hey,
you
but
know,
what he's saying is
it's like a little kid, you know, like, oh, I drew you a picture. It's like, oh, that's nice. I'll put it on the fridge, like, you know, because like, oh, it's me and you and everything. Like, of course, it's great, you know, and that's what you like, but I'm not going to go draw a picture of me and the house and the dog or whatever. Like, I'm going to go draw what I like. But then you have somebody that just pumps out, you know, like the Bejeweled and Candy Crush is super popular. You know, at least a ton of people have it on their phone, at least touch it every now and then, you know, but it's something super simple that someone can get into. And once you get into like the mechanics of gaming, like I've got a different skill set for a first person shooter and then a RPG and then an action adventure game, and a lot of people just don't fucking care that much about anything.
Yeah.
Like, not just gaming, like they don't care to put in that much effort at anything.
I think the amount of games. See, here's the thing. Let's throw out a shitball number and say that there are 400,000 movies in the world right now. Just more, whatever.
Just a random number.
Knowing that fact, is that going to make you not go watch the new Avengers movie? No. That has no effect on you watching Avengers at all. You don't give a fuck. Okay. I think when people see games and they see that we're in the 9th generation of consoles, they're thinking, man, there's all this shit. Like, where the fuck do I begin? Where do I start? If you wanted to understand Avengers fully through word of mouth or research, you could find out, well, I need to go watch Captain America. I should go watch Captain America. I should go watch Iron Man. I should go watch Thor. I know where my starting point is. I think the more levels of where to go and what should I begin with and what difficulty and what type of game should I play, what might I be interested in, I think the more you add those, people, their eyes get blurry.
Yeah, and that's the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, I'll just go fucking watch TV.
There is something about the way people react to media. Okay, there are people who swear by the old black and white fucking TV shows, you know, and don't like the sex and the violence and the blah 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 that came with fucking 80s and beyond sitcoms. Okay, there are people that swear to God that they like the sound of vinyl fucking records. Okay, those people just need to die. I'm serious. Once they die,
Who's keeping
the media will
these
move
people
forward.
need to die, Tally?
Yeah,
I mean, there are a lot of people in this world that the world would be better off without, and it will be the arbiter of who those people are.
I really, really don't think that the only way that video games are ever going to be taken seriously is if an entire generation or two of people die.
I do. I think that it's a growing past it and being replaced by people who are smart enough to program their VCR and aren't intimidated by the task of reprogramming their VCR to get, you know, to an objective. You know, I say the reprogramming the VCR like it was, you know, like a trivial thing, but apparently it wasn't back in the day. You know, people are, oh man, it just flashes 12. I have no idea how to fix it, and they didn't even fucking try. You know, so nowadays you give a fuck. You know, I sat there and my 4-year-old daughter grabbed the PlayStation 3 controller and pulled up her Frozen movie and fucking watched it.
Wow.
She put the fucking DVD in the thing. She grabbed it like
She fingerprinted it,
She
and you were like,
bare-fisted
"Ugh."
it. And I was like, oh my God.
You were like, it's okay. She's learning.
It's going to
okay.
be greasy. But,
I'll clean it later.
She ham-fisted that fucking DVD straight in the fucking thing. She even let the PlayStation pull it in.
Oh, shit.
She had been taught.
She didn't jam it in.
She didn't just slam it in there like, fucking kids used to feed macaroni to the VCR.
Mm-hmm.
No, she did that. She went through the entire PlayStation menu, navigated to the DVD, hit X, and then went through the menu of the DVD and hit play. Okay? She is 4.
Yeah, my 4-year-old does the exact same thing. She knows what shows are on YouTube versus what shows are on Netflix. She knows what each app looks like. She knows how to get to them, and she can pick an episode if she wants.
Yep.
Can't necessarily read it, but like, I know that picture.
And you have right now my 7-year-old, I have only recently discovered likes to watch Minecraft Let's Plays.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Wow.
and
She's slowly creeping into your world now.
She names people. I have no idea. She's like, it's just like Ariel blah blah blah's house, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Oh, he streams on Minecraft.
How weird does that make you feel?
That makes me feel old.
Okay, now check this out. Another
And one
mind
day
blow.
I'll need to die.
Your your daughter can watch a YouTube video or a series or 2 or 3 and name drop shit to you, and you're like, I have no idea. Adam, she was watching a video game related thing.
Yeah.
Now you go talk to somebody at work that don't know shit about video games, and you start name dropping. They feel like you do.
Yeah.
But she's in your world. You're not in their world. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How the gap works?
Yeah.
It's like if you start this shit at a young age, it builds on you.
Yep. And you're ready for the next thing, which is going to be too complicated for us. And we're going to go, I can't handle it. And that's when we know.
I'm already
it's
at
time for us to die.
Can I? I'm going to admit this right now. I feel like I'm at some of that level because I have to this day not owned a tablet. And we have tablets at your job, mine and Adam's job. There's tablets at mine and Greg's job. And I know where to go. I know to click the buttons, but
it's like a big fucking phone, man.
This is where I want to segue into the kids part, is that I feel that if my kid had an iPad, whatever the fuck is a new one out, I feel like they would be outclassed. I think I would be outclassed because I don't know how to work this shit to the most. I could sit down and figure the shit out, yeah, but
you don't want to.
Yeah.
Because you're a crotchety old man now like the rest of us.
I guess.
It
makes me wonder how I'm going to handle.
You just go ahead and turn it off. Tell them they can't have that on at the same time as they got the Wi-Fi on.
Which brings up a good point. Greg, how do you handle censoring and mature content, etc., with your daughter? And how do you plan on handling it as she grows up in the future?
Well, I think you really have to have like a hands-on approach with it. Like, you've got those, like, we had those parents where it's like, oh, this is a teen game and you're 11, you can't play this. Like, there's that aspect to it. But like, my kid watches YouTube videos of people playing with toys. You know, from outside looking in, like if you just let it roll on TV, it's just a bunch of people playing with toys. But then I walk in on one of these kids shows on YouTube and the fucking Paw Patrol puppies are getting pregnant and got morning sickness. And,
what?
Yeah, and puking up slime and all that kinds of shit like that. I'm like, no, you gotta stop that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta be involved with what your kids are doing. You know, as far as in the future goes,
it's part of being a good parent.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all it is. Like, if my kid wants to play games, like, as someone that plays games, I've got a better head. Like, okay, like, I'll probably know what the hell she's talking about until I get super old, but you know, like, of course you can be the one to be like, that says you're not old enough, you're not old enough. But, you know,
I'll never be the one to let some ratings board or government entity tell me how to raise my
yeah, exactly. You know, like, I haven't really seen a lot of games that were underrated, but there have been a few that have been like, catch an M rating when it's like, why?
They say like fuck 3 times in the game.
Yeah, like Super Smash Brothers Melee is a teen game.
Yeah.
Because
Game has a teen rating.
Because
it's
Greg,
got
it simulates
violence.
battle.
And
Violence.
I think one
They
was
hit people with
crude
weapons.
humor, and nobody fucking talks except fucking Pikachu saying his own goddamn name.
But Greg, your little girl could want to
Yeah, exactly.
climb on a thing and jump off and act
Yeah.
like she's doing a Super Smash Slam or something.
And then she'll crack her head, and I'll say, "What did you learn?"
And the government will be like, Greg,
You know,
we told
now,
you.
if it comes to like my kid wants to pick up Resident Evil and she's 4 years old, I'm just gonna be like, nah,
Yeah.
like because I don't want to run around swinging bats at the
let me
dog.
tell you an interesting story. Let me tell you, I was
Story
young-
time with Adam.
young parent, okay, and I was playing this game. Perhaps
He was
you
12 as a parent.
Perhaps you heard of it. I was only 5 when I had my first kid. But I was
Be a
playing.
rich motherfucker, boy.
Yeah, I would. Let me see. I had a little known game. You might know it. It's called Red Dead Redemption.
Ooh, what's that?
What is that?
It is a Rockstar game.
Is that some like
Maybe-
blood? You gotta swing a sword around and kill
Don't
people
they
or
make
something?
Grand Theft Auto? Grand Theft Auto's bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad game.
No, Rockstar.
So it's about a cowboy who goes around fucking shit up. Spoilers.
oh no.
And one of the things you can do is you get a lasso because whoop-de-doo, you're a fucking cowboy, and you use it to wrangle fucking horses and pumas and people. And so I'm sitting there, you know. One of the things was you go on these little side quest kind of things and to get more money. And they give it, you find like a wanted poster or something like that, and it says wanted, dead or alive. And you go to their hideout and catch them and, you know, bring them, you know, you throw them on the back of your horse and bring them back and you get money. Well, I'm sitting there messing around with that, and I found some desperados on the way to some spot, and they started shooting at me, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll play the good guy. So I lassoed him, and there was, you know, this they were like robbing a stagecoach or something like that, you know, and so they're shooting off, and the woman who was, you know, riding the wagon or whatever, she's like screaming and hiding and stuff like that. My daughter walked in. This is my oldest daughter. She walked in while I'm playing this game, and I mean, I'm not like a super strict parent. Like they can see this kind of stuff. I'm not too terribly.
No,
worried
so you're a
about
bad parent then.
I'm a bad parent. I don't give a fuck. So they're watching, you know, she's kind of just watching me play, I guess. And, I lasso the bad guy, and, I have him all hogtied, and she goes, Daddy, lasso the lady. And I go, okay, I'll lasso the lady. So I lasso the lady I'm supposed to be saving. She goes, put her on the train tracks. And I go, what? Okay. So I grab the lady and I do as my daughter asked, and I put her on the train tracks.
Oh my God, Adam.
And she's like, let the train run her over. And
Oh
I
my
was like-
God.
I was like, okay. I got a fucking achievement out of that.
Adam.
There's an achievement in Dead Red Redemption called Dastardly. And you get it for tying a woman up or put her on train tracks.
Now you
Like
know
one of those
now.
old timey movies.
So when your daughter grows up to become a homicidal maniac,
Who ties people up and puts them in front of trains,
you did
then I
it.
will blame you for not stopping me.
I didn't know you at this time.
Damn
I
it.
would have said that. I don't know.
You probably knew me, but it'd be all right. So, I mean, you know, kids do what kids do.
Mhm.
You know, kids see cool, and it's all about being able to separate fantasy and reality. And the sooner your kids understand that the shit they see on TV isn't real life,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which should be as soon as you can teach them that,
Yeah. Yeah.
then they can separate it. They can separate the difference between, you know, the stuff that they might see. Now, I'm not saying let your fucking kids go on Live Leak, okay?
Yeah.
And watch people get smoked in the head by fucking tires and shit.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not saying that's a good idea. What I'm saying is, if you use your best judgment, you know, and keep an eye on your kids,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be okay.
See, here's an example. Here's a. I hate using just current games because there's a bunch of older ones to talk about, but just using a very current example. Let's take Mass Effect Andromeda. One of the biggest bullet points of this fucking game apparently came around was that there's full-blown nudity and probably sex scenes involved.
Yeah.
And that's become a fucking uproar. Now, what kills me is that people will look at that game and all they'll know is that game name and that bullet point, and they'll go, my kid will never play that game. Never. It's like you're throwing away possibly an entire game full of interstellar travel, interspecies turmoil, conflict, strife, adventure, all these great things. But the possibility that there may be nudity or sex involved, you're saying no. I can respect that if you say, if you would say, you know what, I'll get it for my 13-year-old son, but I will play it with him. And when that shit comes up, I will decide whether I'll let him do that or if I'll say, step out the room, I'll fucking button press through this bullshit. You can come back in.
I think
It's the person that looks at that and goes, see, this is what video games are. It's titties and dicks and daggum cussing and bloods everywhere. My kids, are not till you're 18 or you're going to get a PlayStation 7.
I think
That's the shit that
there's
I
a
hate.
happy workaround to this. You know, I think that if you had a menu option in the game that just said, okay, well, we want
Mature content on or off.
yeah, and you could
Modern
just
Warfare 2 did it.
you could
Yeah.
just flip on, you know, it was like the Sega Blood Code that made it so much superior to the fucking SNES version. That you could just go, okay, well, you know, I don't need to press in an elaborate series of buttons. I can just turn this off and password lock it inside the game itself. And maybe they just, you know, do the fucking, we're gonna stamp some fucking shitty bikinis on these fucking chicks instead of, or maybe just make this fade to black and then come back as opposed to showing the scene, you know.
What a lot of it really, really boils down to, like, whatever media that you want to talk about, like us talking about gaming specifically just because of the context of the podcast. As far as your kids go, like, you just got to raise your kids. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
video games
You
don't
have to be
make
involved
the
with their
kids
life.
that shot up Columbine. Like,
No.
parents that let their kids, like,
Do
sit
what
with
the
their
fuck
fucking
ever.
door shut and not tell them, like, yo, like, shit is not okay. Like, and they're like, all right, well, let's go just fucking shoot up the school. Like, shitty parents make shitty kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you know.
I'm actually, not to go too far off on this Columbine thing, but I did learn recently that the mother of one of the shooters is now doing like speeches and stuff like that. She's going around and basically telling her story. And I did watch one of her videos, and apparently from her, and she said, you know, there's no way I can ever make up for what my kid did. You know, but one of her bigger things was she didn't know at the time. She honestly says that she didn't know. And I think she believes it. And she like faulted herself for a very long time about not knowing, you know, not being able to see the signs, the writing on the wall or whatever.
And I imagine at some point in her life, her and their father probably did the same thing. They probably took some initial blame. But the
And-
problem was that society as a whole didn't take them as blame. They fucking
Well, I mean,
grabbed for
at
every
some
loose
point-
straw they could
at
and
some
put it blame
point-
to it.
At some point, okay,
Scapegoat
it's
City.
no longer I mean, even the parents, if you fucking have Hitler as a kid who's going to go out and be a little goddamn demon, at some point that kid has to have personal responsibility.
Yeah.
That's
Okay?
true.
So, I mean, you can be a great parent and still raise fucking Hitler. Because Hitler's gonna Hitler regardless of what the fuck.
Is that
That's gonna be the title.
Hitler's gonna Hitler?
I've just fucking figured it out right
Hitler's
then.
gonna Hitler.
It clicked.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So,
Wow.
so,
So,
oh man, it's gonna be a fucked up title.
backtracking my point, maybe not Columbine kids, but maybe you got a 6-year-old that's whacking kids in class with a broom.
Yeah.
Like, that can be avoided.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, unless they're Hitler.
If you're a
Like,
good kid,
Yeah.
if you have a kid that can understand right from wrong and you take the time to parent them the right way, okay, because my kids do this shit. And I've taught I'm still teaching my girls not to do stupid shit. And, the older one will whack the middle one, or the middle one will whack the older one and then expect not to get whacked back. And I'm like, you can't do this shit. It doesn't matter how mad you get. Use your words, because if you don't, somebody's gonna fucking call your bluff and knock the fucking shit out of you. And I'm gonna have to go to jail for killing their dad.
Yeah, exactly.
After I kick the fuck out of this kid.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Like, grand scheme of thing, like there's golden children that will never do any wrong.
Don't do that.
Exactly. Like, I'm gonna have to fight their dad. Like,
so I mean, this is how it's gonna go down. And if you ever want to see daddy again, you can't be doing this kind of stuff. So just be a parent, really. You gotta pay attention to what your kids are doing, how they are reacting to any form of media they're taking in.
Mm-hmm.
And video games, yes, they are a form of media, so you need to be watching it. You need to be making sure they're not doing stupid shit.
But see, when it comes to games and movies and TV and music, all that, you're putting a lot of homework on the parents now.
Homework.
When all they really
supposed to do as a parent.
No, Adam. All they need to do is look at a fucking rating that stands right there on the game and say, "Nope, my 14-year-old daughter cannot play this game."
That's a cop out.
What
That's
you're gonna
the easy
get,
thing.
you're letting, because I mean, say you did look at the box and you did say, okay, well, this has cartoon violence. What the fuck is cartoon violence? Really? That one offer is going to be something that you use to judge? Okay, I can see that as being the cliff notes of what it's supposed to be, but if you're not there watching and learning and seeing what they're seeing to an extent, then you're not doing your fucking job.
Well, but
you're just not doing your job. You can look at the TV ratings on a TV show. It says TVY. Okay, but you know what? They've got Disney movies out there that have, two guys kissing. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. What I'm saying is that a question may occur when that comes up. And if you're not there to answer it, they'll try to figure it out for themselves, and who knows what answer they'll come to. Okay? And what you don't want is your kids to be taught by the other kids. Okay? That's not how kids should learn shit. Kids should be able to freely dialogue with their parents. And parents should be there to be like, yeah, that's okay. Sometimes that kind of stuff happens. Or, don't be like this person. Don't do what they do. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. The thing is, like, as far as this ties into, like, parents letting their kids play games, you have to do your research, but I think the biggest issue is like a lot of parents don't understand it. It's not something they're into, so they don't want to put in that. Like, the reason they don't put in that effort is because something they don't understand is something they don't like.
Because they don't take it serious.
Yeah, they don't take it serious. Like, I'm sure there's going to come a time where my kid is into something that I have no fucking clue why she would ever like it or anything like that, but I'm still going to sit down and take the time and at least, watch it, look at it, whatever, and at least try and figure it out and come to an understanding instead of just barring it completely.
I cannot tell you how many episodes of My Little Pony I've sat through.
Oh, man. You want to have a My Little Pony episode? Because I can do it. I've seen them too.
Just thinking, the song is, the theme song gets stuck in my fucking head. Okay? It is what it is, okay? But, I will always be that person that, knows what's going on in my kids' lives. And, I'm one person, I've got 3 lives to track.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm not going to be 100% on everything.
Yeah.
I've accepted that.
And plus,
that's things I can't do.
That's you tracking 3 kids. Imagine one parent tracking one kid's video game life. Well, hell, I took time to study fucking Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Man, he got lost in that shit for 5 months. Now what's he want to play? And I wants to play Witcher 3. Well, let me fucking... What's up with this game?
Well, guess what? You got a kid. That's kind of part of it.
And then he got that game.
At some point,
you know what? I'm just going to make this easy. I'm just going to look at the game's rating and say, yeah, this is okay.
You give them the tools they need to make informed decisions, and you give them the ability to make good decisions. And then you got to let them go because they're their own people.
I think that's a good point. I think Another topic that I want to talk about in this mature gaming thing is maybe how the whole gaming industry has evolved over time. You know, I remember back in the day going from console to console to console of having, and even games to games, having those generational gaps and just watching things. Like Nintendo is a good example, how when they were talking about the Switch, they went back into history and they're like, remember, this is the Nintendo controller we gave y'all, and it was revolutionary. The Super Nintendo controller came out, had 2 more buttons and then 2 shoulder buttons.
Yeah.
64 came out, had
And
an
it was like, what the fuck happened? Or were we on acid? Or
So, and then not only that, but I mean, if maybe treading lightly on the statement I made earlier in this podcast was, you know, the graphics were upgraded. When you went from console generation to console generation, for the most part, there was some type of graphical upgrade. But this also stems to games as a whole. Metal Gear Solid was a great game, and it was chock full of little bitty things you could do that weren't strictly storyline, but just the fact that you could put somebody to sleep and then hide their body in a locker, and you thought you were good, but did you cover your tracks in the snow? Because somebody could see your foot tracks and go, somebody, whose footprints are these? And then you go to Metal Gear Solid 2, and then they added rain effects. They added more bird shit. They added. They
that
added,
was the giant leap forward.
It seems like every iteration of Metal Gear, he tried to add more and more shit. Where it's like, man, that's a good touch.
Whole lot of bird shit.
That's a good touch. And I see gaming. I'm sure there's arguments to be made against this, which is what I'd like y'all to pose if you have them. If not, our audience can do it, but it seems like the more generation gap we have in consoles now, it seems like the only big advantage they give us is graphics. Now, there are motion controls, yes. There's more rumble. There's better analog. There's the tilt function, yeah, but I don't know if those have pushed the whole gaming industry for the whole world to be like, yo, this shit's getting big. I don't know if it has.
Yeah, I think that's where you're wrong, bucko. The big thing about it is you're not seeing so much of the fidelity anymore. What you're seeing now is the possibilities expanding. You see, you're starting to see giant multiplayer games are more prevalent now. You're starting to see more things happening on the screen at once. And that's not a huge thing to a lot of people, but it's a huge thing for the implications of what is possible.
Yeah.
When you have let's say Bad Company 2. You remember going inside the buildings in Bad Company 2? Okay, well, there's a famous person that I once knew that said, well, I don't know. I mean, I doubt they'll ever be able to put furniture into these games because you wouldn't be able to model in fucking Battlefield 3 comes out, and lo and behold, all the rooms have furniture in them.
Yep.
So now it doesn't look like you're going through an empty fucking apartment complex / mount fucking training area. Now you're going through places that have couches and living rooms and stuff that can be shot up and blown up. And the more processing power and the
memory and all that,
memory and etc. advances, those will stop being objects so much as and the physics on them will change. It'll stop being like, oh, you shoot the book, it explodes.
Yeah.
It'll start being, you shoot the book and it flies open, pages come out based on where it got hit, etc.
On the topic of evolution, we remember back in the day where there would be developers that would make a game, and you'd have a team of maybe 15, 20 people that developed that whole entire game. Games are so big, and to their discredit and to their credit, are so big now. No, they have a team of 2 people that they're in control of this one city. They spend months and months just working on the city. They spend 2 months working on this building and getting all these assets and different details and physics and all that shit.
You look at it from watch Star Citizen's development. Okay. The bulk of their time has been spent not making the universe, not making the ships. It's been building the toolkit. As soon as the toolkit gets built, then you can use that engine in your next game for free. You can add to that engine or test the limits of that engine and, use it for, how you want to build the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So you start seeing all these engine upgrades, and it doesn't sound like much when you tell a gamer, well, the engine's changed. But it's a huge thing, because right now, if I want to have a table with a book on it, it's a different type of item in one engine than it is in the other. And like I said before, whereas the physics model for a current game might be, okay, a bullet hits that book and the book just explodes into a million particles.
Mm-hmm.
The next one might be, okay, well, the book had a name of the book written across of it. You hit it with a bullet on the A in the middle of it, and the spine breaks it in half and it folds over, and all the pages fly out individually based on where the bullet passed through it.
Yep.
And that's an extreme example, but that's something that could be possible in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for the table. The table that it's on, maybe you shoot one of the legs off and the table kind of lists over to one side, or, you drop something on it and it cracks the table in half. You drop something heavier onto it and all the legs fold and break.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, it's minor,
mm-hmm.
but it plays a big role when it's put into context of everything in that environment.
Yep. This is something I've touted over and over again. It's something Nintendo's been good at for years. Those little details. Thank God that they have not lost the steam power and the willpower to make those little details, because maybe there's 10 people that didn't see it, but I saw it. And man, that was cool. It added just a little bit more spice to that game.
Yeah. And then when you start looking at games where they get that ultra fidelity, you start, say Grand Theft Auto 3, okay? Look at the difference in the fidelity of that game using that engine, where most of the buildings were just big boxes, okay? Even if you went inside a building, you didn't really go inside the building most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
You went into a separate instance.
Mm-hmm.
It teleported you somewhere. Now you go in Grand Theft Auto 5, you walk into the building, you can see shit happening outside, straight through the glass window.
Mm-hmm.
You shoot into it and out of it, based on, whatever. You're walking in there.
It wasn't just a static wall.
You can drive a car in there if you can smash through the window.
Mm-hmm.
But still, the majority of those buildings are giant blocks.
Yep.
What happens and I don't know if this is completely possible, but it might be able to be procedurally generated, but maybe one day they'll flesh that entire city out and you'll be able to go in every fucking room in it.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
I mean, and it'll probably be some kind of engine they develop to where, okay, they, procedurally generate all the buildings that are non-fucking important.
Mm-hmm.
But you could get there one day in gaming.
Like, I can tell you, when I played Grand Theft Auto 5, it was a very minor thing. We're talking like 15, 20 seconds of me just wanting to try it out. I was like, I wonder how many buildings in this game I can actually go in, and I walk up to a door and there's no prompt to open. I'm like, all right, then I was like, oh, and I can go in this shop. I can go in this one random person's house. So maybe one every 5 buildings I can go inside. And I thought, man, I can't wait for the day when the game comes out and I can go in everything. Just the fact that I could. I don't care if nobody's in there, just to go in and see that people took the time to flesh this stuff out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. You talk about like the generational gaps as far as like Nintendo to Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64. And I think you don't really see as much, like you talk about the fidelity, like they kind of got that stuff figured out, and they make a whole game engine. They've got it for the next one.
Yeah.
And then I think it's a cool time we're in that we can get into, like, we don't have to figure out how to make a game itself. Like, we've pretty much got how people move figured out. We pretty much got how a controller should look.
Right.
So now it's like, let's look at the fucking table. Like, oh, that shit would be cool to just have it fall over instead of just.
Well, I mean, even for the people, you could do that for the people. The fidelity could increase on character models. Okay, a human being is a human being. Okay, now you can say, I want to have different physics for this human being. I want them to be action movie human beings,
right,
or I want them to be sports simulator human beings. But motherfucker's got a calf muscle and a bone, and a tibula or whatever, and fucking, you know, so maybe one day they've got that all the way introduced in, and how that moves individually, and that's all mapped out on a computer and modeled. So maybe, you know, maybe one day, you know, you start having maybe you play a sports game, and based on the way the character stretches in that sports game, they get an accurate injury. They tear their ACL in exactly the way it should happen.
See, that's a thinking of games, how they've evolved and how the mass audience as the world has seen them. I think sports games and racing games are two that I don't play predominantly, but I can totally watch those two games being played and think, man, look at how far this shit's come. They've got fucking pores on these faces. Like, they have them. Think when you went back to like a Dreamcast game. I remember I think it was my dad came in one day, and I had fucking two football teams playing in the background for no reason. I was just cleaning my room or something. And he was like, when'd you get cable in here? You can't watch football. And I was like, come on, Dad. It's a video game. And I'm thinking, man, if he saw this shit today that is engineered to be just like you're watching football on the screen.
Yep.
I mean, and look at racing games. Every iteration of engines that come out to model these cars look more. And you put that shit on cinematic mode.
Sound the same. Like, they go record exhaust sounds of that specific fucking car.
And so, when I think the new generational gap is going to be the ability to go further and further into that rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? To make all what I think is actually going to happen, you're probably going to see it on the PC side, is you're going to start to see, you know how people have GPUs right now? Mm-hmm. Maybe one day you'll have another processor in your computer, and it'll be just for like the physics, you know, just doing the millions of calculations that need to happen to determine where this bullet fucking goes.
Yep.
You know, or, you know, what all the reactions of the objects in the environment are, because it's just, at some point you're going to have to undo that bottleneck.
I love the way games evolve like that. Like, maybe it's not the fact that we don't see them because the generational gaps are just...
A fucking frog in my throat.
That back in the day, you could... I mean, if you put Super Mario World up against Super Mario 64, clear difference.
Yeah.
Not only the fact that you went from 2D to 3D, there's a graphical difference. I mean, you're scaling.
You can
up.
just look at it and tell.
When you went from Mario 64 to Mario Sunshine, you're still on 3D, but the graphics are better, and those kept happening. I think the better evolutions for gaming today is just how much more shit you can cram into this game to make it, not even if it's believable, just add more shit to go, man, that's a good detail. Imagine if the game just had nothing but, man, that's good detail.
Look at the act of opening a door.
Yeah.
Okay, in fucking...
Resident Evil. Walk up to a door and a cutscene door opens.
Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. You open a door in fucking an Atari game, and a line disappears, and the block moves forward, and then the line reappears behind it. Okay? And
back in the day, they were like, oh, shit.
Oh, man, he opened that door. Okay, cool. And then in the next, iteration, when you go up to the NES, and you have Mario, like, the door, goes... And you pop in, and you pop out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Then you have... You have... what the hell is it called? Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you start to see, like, the doorknob turns, it opens up, and you step through.
You see grain detail. You see hinges.
Then you start to get into, like, some of the later Metal Gears and stuff, where you start to see the guy reach out and grab the knob and open the door while going through it stealthily.
Mm-hmm. Opening the door a little bit. Opening it a little bit more,
Yeah. And maybe, 20 years from now, motherfuckers have got the damn things inside the lock. The mechanism of the lock actually being shown, stuff like that. But we've already come 80% of the way.
Yeah.
It's the other 20 that's going to take up 80% of our time as we go for 100% fidelity.
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually somebody, and they're starting to do it right now with Star Citizen, is get ultra specific about how stuff works. You know, where a bullet passes through this ship at this angle, it's going to touch these systems and affect these systems in this way. Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's really cool. I like that. It can get a lot more detailed than the Star Citizen's doing it, but we're not there yet. And I think that, you know, maybe 30 years from now, we're having this conversation, and I'm like, I told you you should have agreed with me.
Here's a question. Start with Greg on this one.
Uh-oh.
Where do you want to see gaming go in the next, 20 years from now? Like, where do you want to see that? What do you want to be able to do? What do you want to be able to play? How do you want to play?
I mean, really just seeing what we have now and, like, talking about all these things that, we're figuring out we can do. Like, I just want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want. Like, you talk about, like, memory limitations. Like, there's Atari games that you literally can't beat because they ran out of code.
Right.
Or ran out of room to put the
They're
code.
just like, fuck it, we're not.
Yeah,
putting
and they're like,
anything in.
fuck it, we're done. But, like, RPGs are huge, but you can't really talk to every NPC, or they've got like one or two things they say.
And
Where
they
the
start
main
repeating themselves.
people, you've got the fucking wall of text. Like, I want to be able to go talk to any fucking buddy I want and get a story. Like, I got 3 kids and I'm late for my shift. Like, who the fuck are you, asshole? Like, stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, just, I mean, more realism, not visually, but interactively.
Right.
And I think this is the way we're heading.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games today do shit like that, and the more you hear games that come out, again, I hate to plug a newer game, but like Breath of the Wild, it's just one example. The more games come out that say, man, this game is actually open.
Like Breath of the Wild.
This game is actually open world. It's large and expansive, and there's shit to do in the world. Like, you can tell me if Just Cause 2 came out and you couldn't do shit in Just Cause 2, it would be just a big fucking world.
Yeah.
With just a bunch of fucking stilted things moving around you can't interact with, you can't play with. You give me a game as big as the map size of Just Cause 2, but you fill it with all the shit you can do, and like games like Breath of the Wild, oh man, you could just have a field day. Well, what about the narrative? Like, what is your point? I don't need a point. I'll get to the point when I feel like it.
I mean, even like the newer Grand Theft Autos, like, you'll see some random person running from the fucking cops. And
Yeah.
you can run and beat his ass, and the cops are like, thanks, bro, we got it from here.
You can
like,
just stop on a
Not
corner.
always.
Not always.
Sometimes
Yeah,
they
sometimes.
don't.
But yeah, you can
appreciate
just stop on a corner of Grand Theft Auto 5 and just sit there, and then here comes
People
some
watch.
shit, and you're
Yeah.
like, I wonder, okay, so that person's chasing that person. I wonder what happened. I wonder why that happened.
Yeah.
And from a gameplay perspective, that's just two people that have a script involved. But when you're playing a game and you're involved with all this shit and that just happens in front of you, you're like, whoa, why is that? Whoa, what happened? I like that. I like when shit just happens. I like to see somebody that's walking to the work and like, oh, they're stopping here at the mart. That must be where they
I
work.
can't
And they come
remember
out
who
with
it was.
groceries. Oh, no, they just went grocery shopping. Cool.
I think it was the Deus Ex guys that said they just wanted to recreate one city block perfectly accurately,
Yes.
and that was their goal.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. It's whoever said it was dead on. That if you can get to that level of fidelity, to where you have people going on with their lives, and here's the problem. And old shit brain fucking did call this out. There is a limit to how much freedom you can have based on the ability of a person to write.
Yeah.
They can't write every person. They can't write 6 billion different motivations for every person in the world, so you can just walk out your door and keep walking and find an infinite number of different people with different fucking goals in life, different aspirations that you can quiz them on infinitely. At some point, you have to say, okay, these motherfuckers, they just can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not, you're asking too much from the game developer. But my question is there a way to make it is there a way to get enough iterations to where you'll get bored with the game before you run out?
I say yes. And I say it takes two things. It takes more technological advances. It takes our memory and processing power, speed, and all that. It takes us to have a huge generational gap or two, and then it takes time. I hate to do another fucking Star Citizen episode, but this is exactly what Star Citizen is doing right. That people give them shit for, and it's a big fucking joke. But they're doing the right thing. They have found a stopping point, yes, but they took their time. They had this 2 or 3 year idea. They built this shit, built this engine, and got this shit. And they said, okay, we kind of have a product here. Let's keep going. Let's keep adding more shit. Okay, now let's stop at a microscopic level. Don't just tell me I can build this one. We have 20 worlds. Let's not just build the one world bigger. Let's go into that world and go down to one of these continents and go down to one of these large cities, and let's detail this city. Let's add this. Let's make this city unique, as opposed to going to planet X-22 and finding the same fucking carbon-pasted city. We just gave the people a color change. So if we have the capacity to do it, and we have enough people that can do it, and enough budget, and people just chill the fuck out and let companies build this over time, it can be done.
But
the problem is,
time,
as this gaming industry as a machine keeps going and going, and it's like, no, we got to have another game.
You end up with Star Citizen's problem. Okay, and Star Citizen's problem, be it a good thing or a bad thing, is that people know too much about what's going on with it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's got big ass promises, and if it fails to deliver, it's a colossal bust.
Mm-hmm.
If it partially delivers, it just depends on what level of partially did we achieve. Did we get 95% accuracy? Did we get 90, 85, 70, 50, you know? But right now, if you were to go into the beta, you would not get what you were promised.
Yeah.
But that's part of game design.
Yeah.
So you have all this pressure, and there was a news article not too long ago about, well, they're fucking lying their asses off, and they're full of shit, and this is not going to be anything like it's supposed to be. And all these people got fucking scammed.
Sounds like No Man's Sky. You talking about No Man's Sky now?
It sounds a lot like No Man's Sky. But No Man's Sky fulfilled that destiny. Star Citizen has yet to release, so it hasn't. And they still multiple years into the development cycle have not said, okay, here's a release date.
Yeah.
Okay, much less, a finished product.
That I think is one of the bigger.
That is a green flag. Right
if we're
there.
talking about the evolution in gaming and the pros and cons of it, I think one of the cons. This is where I'm going to start stabbing my own argument right in the fucking face.
Damn it!
I want gaming to be huge. I want gaming to be touted up just like fucking Super Bowl, just like the Olympics. Like, excuse me, frog in my throat now. Did you give me a frog?
Yep.
You transfer a frog?
Oh man,
must have been when we kissed earlier, huh?
Yeah.
I want gaming to be taken as serious as these other huge world hobbies, these other huge world pastimes. But the problem is, as it has gotten bigger, just like any other fucking industry that gets bigger, I'm looking at you, Hollywood, money becomes involved. When money becomes involved, companies as a whole start, this is my tout against EA, my rant against EA. They start as a small company that wants to do great fucking games for people. Like McDonald's started as we just want to give 15-cent burgers to people. But the more they had to grow, the people that started investing money went, we can make a profit off of this. We can make a profit off Konami and Capcom and Squaresoft. You guys need to start pumping out products. Call of Duty, BioWare, and all these big gaming franchises. And I start seeing companies less and less trying to, even though there are great, big gamer at heart people that develop these games, I see companies coming in going, hey, you need to start pumping this game out. We got a deadline of so and so. And they're like, but there's all these things we can do. And they're like, hey, we need to make a profit. You need to tailor to the biggest audience, not because we want the biggest audience to go play Mario and go, yahoo! We want to play to the bigger audience that they can put money in our fucking pockets.
Well,
and that's what I hate.
That's
the evolution of gaming that I do not like.
Well, I mean, you should be happy then, because you not only have the actual AAA side of gaming anymore. AAA is not, the kings aren't.
That is true.
Now you have indie, and indie, and with things like the Humble Bundle and the actual Patreon, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You have games getting green. Star Citizen, you know, it's all crowdfunded. It was like, man, that idea sounds fucking awesome, and it looks like you can pull it off. I'll give you my money.
I feel like the bigger a company gets, while it's great that they can
It just
say,
doesn't want to take the risk. It's a profit margin thing.
but and that's the problem.
But it's not
Gets
so much a problem as it is. It's a problem for that AAA company because they aren't willing to take the risk, but they are willing to let someone else take the risk and then pump out games with that feature.
but
So you may see another spin on, say, Star Citizen becomes successful. We may get, you know, a Star Citizen-esque AAA title come out, and it might be 3 times better than Star Citizen. But now that it wouldn't have gotten greenlit before, but now you've got the multi-million-dollar companies doing it,
yeah.
and they've got the money and the ass to back it up, and they can get, you know, fucking Vin Diesel and all these other motherfuckers come in voice act.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a good thing and a bad thing. You got the grassroots kind of pushing forward the innovation, but you also have the AAA is still there with the muscle, and AAA needs to exist.
Yeah, it does.
It needs to exist, and if it has to exist in its current form, let it. But the grassroots existing now and being grown and nurtured the way it is, especially with, you know, Steam Greenlight and all these ways that they have to mass distribute their games now that didn't exist before. It's a huge thing for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to do nothing but wonders as the tech improves, as the software improves, all of this stuff improves. We're going to see just a massive increase.
See, this is why I love Kickstarter and crowdfunded things, and why I get on such a fucking tirade when I hear of developers abusing this system. Because let's say the 3 of us sit down and we design a game and we get a game going. Greg, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Greg, Adam, and Michael can come up with some currency, some type, but nowhere near the currency needed to actually get this game in real big development. So we put it out there to crowdfund, and we put this idea with it. This is the idea of the game we want to come up with. And people go, fuck yeah, I'll donate some money. I'd play that shit. Fuck yeah. And you get the $5, $10, but then you get the big guys that are like, man, I feel your passion. $5,000. Hey man, I know where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. Hey, there's a dog eat dog world out here. I know you need money. Here's $50,000. And then those games get developed, and when they're good, they're great. But then you get the shit people that take the money and give you a shit game and run with it. And it's like, God damn it, because you know I had no other choice. The only other choice I had was to take a AAA company to come in and go, sure, we'll fund the game for you. Okay, but now we got some buy rules. We need a deadline. We need this many trailers. We need this many tech demos. You need to show up at E3. You need to do this. And it's like, I just want to... This game is getting bigger than our ideas. We need time. I'm not going to give you time. I'm going to give you money. I'm not going to give you time.
Where you have the difference between, you know, the guy who made No Man's Sky, who was pretty good, okay, but he wasn't immaculate, and he didn't show off a lot of the concepts of what he did. With crowdfunding, you got to be fucking careful.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I believe in Star Citizen is because the guy has a resume. Okay, the guy has a resume of pumping out big ass games, not just little fucking shit games. The guy, he didn't invent Tetris, but he did make Wing Commander, the entire series of Wing Commander. Okay, the guy knows what he's doing, and he had the technical and business prowess to not only show off what he thought was the concept for his game, but to have a working demo before he even went to crowdfunding. He was like, it's not so much of a playable demo, but this is kind of like what we're going for. You know, and then this and this, and then he went off about some stuff that he didn't have time to show or time to show a model for. So when you're doing crowdfunding, you got to be careful. There are a lot of awesome concepts I've seen get crowdfunded just because and that I wouldn't have personally donated to, just because they've got no proof that they're capable of doing it.
True.
You know,
That's
and
true.
if no offense, meted, but if you two decide to come up with a game idea, the concept could be sound. But if all you have is like some sketchy character art and, a concept, done with flashcards of what you think the gameplay would be like, I don't see this going very far because,
Yeah.
what programmer are you going to get to code this?
Well,
and
see, that's
can
the
he
thing.
even do it? And
The more people you get involved with it, that's more fingers in the pies. I got no problem with the more fingers in the pies. I got problems with the people putting their fingers in and saying, this is how I want it to stir. This is how I want it to be done. It's like, ugh. You have to have some kind of core concept of what you want to do. You have to have some sort of, this is where we're going. And it seems like the more people, the more money muscle put behind it, it's more people going, hey, we're invested in this. We got money involved. We got the largest stake in this game for our money. So we're going to make the calls. We need to say what's going on and what's not going on.
What ends up happening with stuff like Patreon is you make the money, no strings attached.
Mm-hmm.
You give the money up. You might do it for a stretch goal or something like that. And for the stretch goal, you're guaranteed to get whatever it was your stretch goal was.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, if they shit out a turd, then, you put $50,000 into a turd.
Yeah.
It's $50,000 shinier.
Mm-hmm.
I think, we've been talking about as far as like big money coming down. I think you see the same thing with like early access games where it's like, hey, like you pay the $35, you can play this game while we develop it.
Mm-hmm.
And what winds up happening is like games take time, especially when you're like a big ass game or like some sort of simulator, like, and then you have a bunch of little people like wanting these one or two little things. And then when it doesn't happen, as soon as they want it, they're like, oh, this is a shit game. And then they just,
Yeah.
they
Just
walk
look at
away
it
and then it dies in the water. And it's like, if you just fucking wait, like eventually we'll have a game. Like you didn't buy the game. We told you you're not buying a complete game. Like you're here to help us. Like this is what we're doing. Like just give us some fucking time.
This is where the gaming industry as a whole is shooting itself in the foot. And it's come every new generation. It's come every new game. This is where your good old console PC wars shit's going to come involved, is you got consoles that are just striving to kick each other in the throat. And it seems like the idea has gone less from, let's give new great games. It's, we need to be the forefront out there. Instead of doing that, why don't you take the time, talk to your developers, get the game developers to be able to take, I'm a patient fucking dude. I can wait. I waited for Breath of the Wild. I've got it. It's great. What if they took another year and a half? Fucking great. If the product's going to be better, cool. They need to stop pushing shit out to get it out now to get that profit margin. Take your time. Make the game good. Make it fun.
Yep. It became less about making great games and more about just, let's fuck over the other guy.
Yeah.
And it never needed to be that way.
If Nintendo as a whole, if every gaming company and every game developer came out with the mentality that Nintendo used to have back in the day, shady methods or not, of we want to put this shit in every household, we want to put this in everybody's hands, nobody's excluded, we do have the hardcore audience tailored, we do have the casual audience tailored, we've got your neighbor tailored, your grandparents tailored, your coworker tailored. If everybody could get involved in that, maybe the industry could grow better. Maybe it could stop being this games are not for everybody, it's games or whatever in the other medias. But I don't see it yet. I don't know what's going to take it. Maybe VR and augmented reality will help take it. I don't know. If people don't seem to be interested and don't have the wherewithal to pick up a fucking a controller with 11, 12 buttons on it and go walk around Grand Theft Auto, I don't see them having inclination to go put on a fucking headset and a
I told you, these people are going to die.
I don't know what it's going to take for this whole medium to be pushed up to the elevation that it deserves, but it's not.
Our children's children will look at us and go, fucking grandpa don't know how to fucking walk in VR without vomiting everywhere and dying.
Do you think if gaming goes the way that you would like it to go, where like everybody just makes phone games and everything. Do you think that's going to be a good thing for the industry, or do you think it's going to start watering down?
Yeah, that's a misrepresentation of what I want for the industry. What I think's going to happen is PCs are going to take over the high-end stuff, and you're going to have phones take over the low to mid range stuff, and you're going to have your, more casual type games just be stuff people can pull up on their phone or tablet, and you'll have the more hardcore
porn.
Oh God. Oh God.
More hardcore. Go ahead and
They're
tell them about the
hardcore.
Japanese vagina adapters
God.
and
Man. Oh God.
the AAA porn games that exist in the world.
God.
Yeah, but that right there, the more shit like that gets pushed out in the limelight, people will the society as a whole brushes over Witcher 3. They brush over the new Call of Duty. They look at the degenerate shit that gaming is. Man,
I don't see
whatever.
too many people talking about that.
Thank God.
That is part of American culture. They show, they aren't afraid to show partial or full nudity on TV in Europe.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to show some things in Japan. But for the way that we are as a country, I don't think we're ready for mainstream porn games to get marketed. But they do that in Japan, and there are AAA Japanese fucking porn companies.
Now, Adam, I know you've heard the old trope that what pushes new media and what pushes new media format is porn. Well, hey, video games are a format.
No, I mean,
maybe porn should step in the industry.
Porn. There have been fucking porn games on video games for a long time. Now the jiggle physics have gotten better.
Much better.
Much independently better. And
independently. I like how you added that little snippet in. Jiggle physics are independently better.
Jiggle physics are like the fucking best thing about gaming.
What?
Calling it right now.
Calling it right now.
Oh my God.
But no. It will. It would push the market forward. I don't think it's going to push the American market forward.
Yeah, don't take that seriously. That was just a big funny joke. Haha. I think the real question is, do you think gaming's going to grow? You think it's going to be bigger and better than what it is? Or you think we're just always going to be stuck in this fucking video games, little kid shit, whatever. It's bleep bloops. Yeah.
No, I don't think we're there now. I think that the old people are dying, and the more they die,
Greg, this is a fact. Old people die.
Well, yeah, and
I say they die, but what I really mean is that
their ideals are dying.
Their ideals die.
Their
with
stereotypes are dying.
They stop.
I don't know.
You stop having what a naughty girl! She showed her ankles. Oh,
yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. No, you stop having these crazy fucking people that believe this bullshit and have these, outdated fucking sentimentalities where they're, they get offended by cleavage.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you can have cleavage on TV, and that's not even considered provocative, really.
Yeah.
One day the games will be that way.
More mature content.
There's always going to be that person out there that says, okay, well, that's sexist. But games have always been the great equalizer. There has never been a more equal playing field than video games.
Well, yeah, that is true, because anybody and everybody, if they just took the time, can play any game.
Your sister could whoop your ass in fucking Mario if she puts in the time that you do.
Yeah.
She could whoop your ass in Smash Brothers. There's no, inherent. It's not inherently better to be a male and play video games than it is to be a female and play video games. It's an equal playing field.
Yeah, go watch tournaments. Go watch Twitch shit. Go watch all these things. There's males and females.
Correct. So I mean,
gender fluid, whatever.
The idea that it's just there are going to be things that cater to men, There's going to be things that cater to women, and you're going to see more of both in the future, I think.
Here's a question.
Especially as gaming develops.
Here's a question. You got a coworker that works with you. They predominantly go home and play. I mean, they watch TV 4 or 5 hours a day.
Okay.
How hard is it for you to tell that person about gaming? How hard is it for you to try to convince that person, hey, there's some games out there?
It's getting easier.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It used to be a really taboo subject.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I was growing up as a kid. You didn't want to reveal you got too fucking nerdy.
Yeah.
About, any kind of game. You didn't want to be
there
like,
are three nerds right in this room right now. They can tell you all the horror stories and the good stories.
Over fucking nerds, and they just chase you around through fucking shit at you. But yeah, now Star Wars is popular, Lord of the Rings is popular,
Avengers are popular.
It doesn't make you a goddamn nerd to know what a fucking Hobbit is.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these nerd culture groups on Facebook, and we've taken over.
I think it's just
There's a whole bar down here now dedicated to all that shit.
Oh yeah,
yeah. In
I'm fucking
Biloxi,
going
I
there.
think. Like
they've got the Wayward Kraken, I think.
Yeah, they've got like dedicated D&D tables, and they have like video game tournaments, and
they got
reading coves and
quizzes over nerd quizzes,
nerd trivia night, and whatever team wins one week gets to pick the topip for next week's trivia.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
I had no idea this existed.
Yeah,
found out about it yesterday.
Shout out to the Wayward Kraken. You know who you are.
Oh God.
And I think that would be another topic to discuss, is talking about so the big thing is nerd culture is big now. Like, it's okay. It's a cool thing. Has nerd culture really become an okay thing? Has nerd culture really blown its fucking asshole out, and now it's okay to be a jock or a nerd? Or do those stereotypes even exist to this day? Is that just a fucking high school thing?
Comic books, video games, fucking old novels, geeky TV shows. They're all fucking mainstream now.
It seems like when you were a kid, I think that's a problem with these stereotypes, is they're revolving around kids and teenagers. And those kids and teenagers are only subject to really what they can have, what they can buy, or mainly what their parents give them.
Yeah.
So when you get out into the real world, you find people that have a plethora of hobbies. That dude down the road, yeah, he watches football. He also loves to go hiking. He goes hunting every season, but he's not a fucking redneck. He just likes to hunt. He's also got a bicycle. He's done a couple races on his bicycle, and he likes biking, People have different
Sometimes he likes to go down to the bar and suck dude's dick. That don't make him gay. He just sucks his dick every now and then. Just one or two don't make you
gay. The point being is that people have a diverse set of hobbies and things that they like. And I think when you get to be an adult, this is mainly for all of you teenage audiences listening to us.
None of it fucking matters.
Do what the fuck you want to do.
Do your thing.
You're going to have people that are going to you're going to find some person, you're going to look at them and what they wear or what they drive or what their job is, and you're going to be like,
I want to suck his dick.
No, you're going to go, I bet you I know what that person does in their hobby. I hear the things they talk about. I bet you I know what they're into. And then you're going to get to their house and you're going to look at their hobbies and go, man, I didn't know you like mountain climbing. That's fucking weird. Yeah, man. I didn't know you like canoeing. I didn't know you like traveling all over the world. That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty badass.
Stereotypes of nerds exist. I think social media exist. I don't think that they exist in the adult world the way they used to.
I mean, really, to me, like, a nerd now is like, any kind of hobby you have, like, you can completely immerse yourself in fucking anything now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can be a nerd about just about anything. It doesn't have to be comic books or like video games or anything like that. Like
whatever used to be.
It's all the same thing. Like, I just really fucking like what I like.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the nerd culture now.
Your boat.
I wish the gaming media would get up to that level so we could stop having that stereotypical shit. I just wish the gaming media as a whole would just grow and be bigger and better and
more badass, really.
Just be better experienced.
Just
I wish more people could get involved in it and be like, hey man, this shit's, it's controllers, yeah, but good shit. I didn't know there was this deep storyline. Like, yeah, you You like that game, that movie, the show Walking Dead, right? I went through all 3 of the games. Ellie, you like that show Walking Dead, right? Oh yeah, man. I'll watch every season. It's a family thing with me and my girlfriend.
I don't have time for such trivial matters.
Well,
I have math to do.
If you like the show, what if I told you there was a video game that's tailored around that whole thing? Oh,
Yeah,
hold
that'd
on
take
now.
too long.
Hold on now. The video
That would
games.
get in the way of my beer crafting.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
I'm too busy sharpening wood. Oh, God. Oh, the wood sharpening. It's my fucking hobby.
Wood sharpening is your hobby.
I love it.
Greg, you got
Sharpen
any?
my wood every day.
You got any questions for old Mike and Adam here? Anything
Anything you want to say before we go?
before we sever your ties because of your Domino's
forever.
love?
I would like to say it's been a delight.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Definitely not what I expected in a good way.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Got to meet some new people. Got to talk to some old people.
Yep. It's always good when you meet
Fucking
somebody
old
and you don't know. And this. I mean, it goes to anybody with any hobby. You know, I ride motorcycles, so I can tout to that feeling. And I'm just using that as one example. It goes to any hobby. When you meet somebody that you think has the same interest as you, I kind of step back and I'm like, what is your interest level? Not on an asshole like, oh, you better get to my level. It's more like, I wonder what they've been through. And they start talking gaming and you're like, oh shit. Oh yeah.
Let me show you my truth.
I got a gamer here. Hell yeah.
It's not even my final form.
Yep. Adam was like, you should play Dark Souls and Mass Effect's great. He was right, and then he was so fucking wrong.
Oh man. I think I was on the money like 4 or 5 times in a row, and then I finally shat a stinker, and he was like,
Just look how many hours you've been here on this podcast. You could have been home
I could have
with Andromeda and been like,
into Andromeda,
yeah.
balls deep in some Asari Poontang.
But hey, you thought of the audience
But hey,
instead.
that's just a theory.
Stop. That shit's probably trademarked. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you again, Greg, for coming. Thanks for being on the cast.
Multiple
Thank you for
times.
having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you having you around.
Your beard tickles.
That's what it's built for.
Yeah, our breaks get real intimate around here.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody for tuning in and listening. I don't know why I say tuning in. You don't tune in. You fucking go to a browser and you click a
Motherfucking
button.
use the goddamn
click a-
diode
Clicking in and
resistor.
listening.
Yep, you click a play button.
You
Thanks
click the
everybody
skip
who.
Michael button.
No, there is no
Multiple
skip.
times
There will
until
never
you
be
get
a
to my
skip
point.
Michael button. Saying that right now, fact. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for checking us out again. We appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to talk about maturity in gaming, what do you think of the industry as a whole? Where do you think it's going? How impressed are you at how far it's come? Like, what things have stuck out in your mind of the innovations in gaming and the growth of gaming as an industry? What do you think about it? Where do you think it's going? Are you happy with where it's going? Are you scared about where it's going? You can drop us a line on the Facebook page. We also have a Twitter up. Same thing. You can tweet at us. We love being tweeted at. I don't think we've been tweeted at one time. We've been
God.
retweeted a couple times, but nobody's like, hey, man, I'm tweeting at you. I have to perfect dodge a tweet. It's kind of old school, but you can still send us an email. We have an email address at endoftimecast@gmail.com. That's endoftimecast@gmail.com. No funny spelling, nothing crazy. Just shoot us an email. Let us know thoughts. We love questions. The most important thing we need from everybody is to please share. I'm pretty sure there's share functions.
Share us, oh my God.
We tried our best to make things a little bit easier to get a hold of. You can find us on SoundCloud. That's where you're listening to us right now. Just tell people to go to SoundCloud and look for the End of Time. Should be real easy to find us. If you know anybody that likes podcasts or gaming or both, tell them about us. Let us know.
If they like Chrono Cross, don't tell them.
Yeah, no, even if you like Chrono Cross.
No.
If you like Chrono Cross, send us email about why. We'd love to hear why.
You son of a bitch.
All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks again for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next time. I'm Michael.
And I'm Adam.
And I'm Greg.
All right, good night, everybody.